Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live. Had a little bit of an issue on the back end as this ball is chopped over the shortstop, Ruthier, who can't handle it. I'm not sure if he was going to have a play on Ben Irvine either way. We'll wait for the official scoring, but the Beacons have a leadoff base runner here to start game number 2 as they work against Derek Walker. Walker, the game 2 starter for the Panthers, a junior out of Littleton, New Hampshire, 6'1", 180. Going to be a leadoff single for Ben Irvine, who has now reached, I think, in 6 consecutive plate appearances after starting the day 0-2. Inauspicious start, but of course it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And Ben Irvine, if he can keep this going, could be on the way for a huge day. Irvine had 3 walks and 2 singles to end game number 1, finishing the day 2 for 4, reaching 5 times, and now has an infield single. We are going to bring you lineups and everything when we've got a moment, but right now let's just talk a little bit more about Derek Walker, the Plymouth State starter who pitches against Steve Brookwell. Only the one lineup change for both sides as Irvine takes off for second. The throw is wide of the bag, and Irvine's got his second steal of the day. 1-2 count here to Steve Brookwell, the Beacon senior right fielder. For Derek Walker, making his first start of the season, 0-0, 6.75 ERA, 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 9 strikeouts to 4 walks. Opponents hitting just 118 against him, but obviously 5 1/3 innings. That's not a lot of sample size. That bounces up there, 2-2. The wind all of a sudden is kind of swirling. We're getting a little bit of wind blowing directly into our face here behind home plate, but the flags are still moving a little bit out in right center as well. Walker in his first 2 outings went 2 1/3 innings and 3 innings, so not likely to be throwing deep in today's contest. Irvine out there at second after the leadoff single and a stolen base. 2-2 to Brookwell, that misses. Brookwell today, well, he's been busy, just like Irvine had 7 trips to the plate in game 1. He finished 3 for 6 with a couple singles, a couple RBI, and a strikeout. Reached 4 times. 3-2 offering popped up foul. In Walker's season debut, he went 2 1/3 innings against Keene State, 2 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts. Against Castleton, 3 innings, did not allow a hit, but allowed 4 earned runs, 4 walks, and 5 Ks. And take a deeper look. How many batters did he hit who've given up 4 earned runs without giving up a hit? Pitch is high, and it's a walk to Brookwell. So 2 on with no outs here after the Beacons scored a season-high 19 runs on 18 hits in the first game to even their record. For Walker in that outing, he faced 9 batters over 3 innings, which seems like that's got to be a miscue. No runs, 4 earned, 5 strikeouts, 2 wild pitches, a balk. Something about those stats don't fully seem to fit, but both of those outings coming in a 5-day span, April the 9th and April the 13th. His first appearance in about 3 weeks. First pitch tails away from Curtis Tyrone, the Beacons' senior designated hitter. Tyrone in game number 1 just had a Tyrone type of day. 2 walks, 2 hits, went 2 for 4, had an RBI and 3 runs scored before being lifted for a pinch hitter in his last at bat. Hit over to the second baseman. Metzdorf can't handle it. That's got to be a hit. And the Beacons have loaded the bases. If Metzdorf doesn't get there, a run easily scores. Instead, the bases are full of Beacons. After a diving effort from Metzdorf that looked like it caught his wrist. Hopefully Drew's okay, because he has been a key player all season for head coach Clay Jenkins. And it brings up the Beacons' game 2 catcher. I mentioned just the one change for both sides outside of the pitchers. Corliss, who was the first baseman in game 1, is now behind the plate as they're going to give Nico Kaides, at least to start this game, a little bit of rest. Michael Comeau will play first base here in game 2. He's hitting down in the order. He hits 8th. Everybody else is at the same position with Till and Ryan pitching. For Plymouth State, their only change comes at the pitching or the catching spot as well. Gavin Cook, the team's regular starter, is in there after we saw the catcher Nick Healy get injured, and then they used the third-string catcher Brian Gallagher behind the plate for the last couple of innings. It's 2-0 here to Corliss, who hit his first home run as a Beacon, second collegiate home run. Corliss ended the game 2 for 3 with 2 walks and a hit by pitch. 2-1 now. Hit a home run to left center to give the Beacons a 16-7 lead as part of a 4-run top of the 8th. The Beacons earned the 8-inning Mercy Rule victory over the Panthers, mercifully cutting that game a little bit short as that game ran 3.5 hours. That was actually the reason why this broadcast started a little bit later than we were hoping, as the second broadcast, the RTMP code actually timed out because it was over an hour late. We had to get a new RTMP code, and we're glad that you're with us here for game number 2. Well, that's a little bit more information than most of you want, but trying to keep you fully abreast of what's going on here at Monin Park. Three and one here to Craig Corliss. Walker looks at every base but doesn't have a play. Irvine's over at third. Brookwell at second. And at first base is Tyrone. Tremendous speed at third and second. Corliss ahead in the count 3-1. Already had a couple RBI in game 1. He hits it over the second baseman past Mesdorf, and it's going to score 2. Tyrone takes off for 3, and just like he did in the first inning of game 1, Craig Corliss has a 2-run hit to give the Beacons a 2-0 lead. Takes second on the throw, and it is 2-0 UMass Boston, just 4 batters in against Derek Walker, excuse me. Tough play there for Mesdorf, who's already had 2 difficult plays, unable to get to either ball. That would have been a really nice defensive play. First pitch to Aiden Blake is in there for a strike. Blake had a team best 4 RBI in game number 1. Finished the game 2 for 5 with a walk, behind 0-2 as Walker looks to get his first out here. The game 1 starter, their ace, Ryan Hurlbert, lasted just an inning and a third, allowed 7 runs, 6 earned, including 5 runs in the top of the first inning. Trying to avoid a similar situation here. Already 2 runs in as that pitch misses outside. 1-2. Walker had allowed his opponents to hit just 118, but already 3 hits to the first 4 batters. 1-2 breaking ball gets away from the catcher Cook. Coming home is Tyrone and won't get a throw. The Beacons lead at 3-0 as Corliss takes off as well. The wild pitch to score Curtis Tyrone. Corliss moves up to third, and it is 3-0 UMass Boston now. Blake could do what he did in the first game, a ground out to anywhere but probably first or third would score Corliss. The corners are in with the middle infield at double play depth. 2-2 to the Beacon sophomore third baseman, make it 3-2. Aiden out of Lakeville, Massachusetts, attended Apponequet Regional High School, where he was a South Coast Conference All-Star. Came in tied for the Beacons lead in RBI with 8. Up to 12, a chance for 13 as he'll foul this off. This is just the Beacons' 11th game of the season, but they only play 16, so getting into the stretch. With that win in game 1, the Beacons all alone in 4th place in the Little East Conference at 5-5 in the standings. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Walker's first out of the contest. And it brings up Thomas Q. Q went 3 for 6 in game one with a pair of doubles. And a pair of RBI as well. First pitch to Q is up high. He leads the Beacons with 5 doubles on the season. One 0 misses out wide. 2-0. Two and 0 to Q, the junior left fielder out of Shrewsbury, Mass. Takes a fastball a little bit low. That was actually 3-0 and now 4-0. So Walker got the strikeout, but has allowed 3 singles and 2 walks. 5 of the first 6 batters have reached, and it's Devin Slattery stepping up to the plate. The sophomore second baseman out of Ware, Massachusetts. Slattery finished 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored, 2 RBI, and 3 walks as the pickoff throw close, but Q back in time. Slattery had a 2-run single in the first inning to make it 5-0 in the opener of today's doubleheader. Would need more than a single here to make it 5-0, but easily could make it 4-0 with the hit as Michael Comeau, the lone new starter here in Game 2, is in the on-deck circle. Beacons had 9 batters step to the plate in the first and second inning of Game number 1. They raced out to a 10-0 lead by the top of the third before Plymouth State came all the way back to make it 10-7 and had the go-ahead batter at the plate in the 5th inning. UMass Boston eventually pushed it out as the pickoff throw comes to third here, and Corliss is back in time. Beacons won that first game 19-8. Corliss and James Salta exchange a fist bump. Must have been kind of a hard tag over there at third. Q, the runner at first with great speed. Corliss, the first baseman slash catcher, not as much, but doesn't really need it the way he's been batting. That's up high, 2-0. Got a stoppage. I would really hope that Clay Jenkins is just going to try to settle down his junior righty here, because we saw him come out frequently in that first game of today's doubleheader. It looks like it's actually just a matter of kind of his footing here, maybe. By the end of the second inning, Plymouth State had used 3 pitchers as Ryan Hurlburt was chased in the second. They have no one warming. Well, nope, there's someone warming. This is early. I mean, talking the first inning after having to throw 6 pitchers in game 1. They had a doubleheader yesterday where they only used 3 pitchers, but they have a doubleheader tomorrow against Southern Maine. It looks like it's a pitcher in the 30s. Not going to be Hurlburt. It could be his. Well, I'm not gonna guess quite yet on which right-handed pitcher it is for Plymouth who has begun to warm. 2-0 here. Runner takes off for second. Not even going to get a throw as Q is in there in time. So the Beacons get an early stolen base. Runners at second and third. 3-0 here for Slattery. Likely going to be given the red light. Force Walker to get a ball across. 3-0 pitch hit up the middle. This will score a run. Metzdorf the backhand. Only play is to first. And it's 4-0 Beacon. An RBI ground out from Devin Slattery drives in Corliss. And another hot start for the Beacons. 4-0 UMass Boston as Michael Comeau gets his first at-bat of the day. Comeau swings and fouls that back into the glove of Cook. Senior out of Andover, Mass, making his 8th appearance, 4 start, 2 for 11 with a run scored and 2 RBI, making his 20th collegiate appearance. Take the fastball. Did he go? He did not. 1-1. 5 strikeouts to 2 walks. Had a hit in 2 of his first 3 appearances, 0 since. To be fair, of those 5 appearances, just 4 at-bats across the 5. He was a guy who was one-two pitch, misses out wide, 2-2. Two offering to Comeau. That nearly hits him. Kept from going to the backstop by the umpire. 3-2. Sam Finn was our base umpire for game 1. He's behind the plate. Michael Lightbody is on the bases. 3-2 offering. Just misses. And Comeau is aboard as the Beacons, just like they did in game number 1, have put 9 batters up to the plate. Ryan Leung in game number 1 went 1 for 4. A double in the 4th. He was lifted for a pinch hitter in the 7th. Yanni Zerilli, who replaced him and then was replaced by Jason Sullivan. Beacons used 3 different players in the 9-hole. Leung making his 2nd consecutive start, 3rd on the season, 2nd collegiate start at shortstop after starting the Beacons opener at 2nd in all 4 games last year on the opposite side of the second base bag. 1-1 now. Walker is already up to 36 pitches here in the top of the 1st inning. Hugh at 3rd, Comeau at 1st for Leung. Walker is 1-1 offering, taking off for 2nd is Comeau. The throw will come home, double steal. The throw comes home. The tag is in there. Hugh can't believe it, but Finn says he's out. So the Beacons tried to get aggressive, and Brendan Eigerbro's going to come out. He wants to have a conversation. We'll take a look at the replay when we've got it, as Eigerbro clearly thought he saw something different than Finn. Beacons score 4 nonetheless. And we'll see if it maybe 5 if we can get a change on the review from the umpires. Well, we'll take a look at the highlight when we have it. The umpires are not going to have a conversation. Actually, looks like our base umpire needs to use the lavatory potentially. Dylan Ryan begins to warm. Take a look right now at the review of that perfectly executed double steal. You like Thomas Q being the trail runner. He's very fast. And this is the first of 2 views I'm being told. Q thinks he was in there. It's a good throw from the second baseman. Oh, wow, that looks like Q might have gotten his glove in. So this is only going to show the catcher. And you're going to see Q come in. Let's slow it down. Oh, that's super close. I think not only is Q thinking he's safe, but also the catcher kind of makes it difficult for him to get towards home plate. Nonetheless, it's UMass Boston leading 4-0. Dylan Ryan is the Beacon's Game 2 starter, and he starts with the 4-0 lead. Ryan, just like Tim Cianciola, has pitched well, but still looking for that first collegiate victory. Making his fourth appearance, third start, 0-0 with a 1.00 ERA, 9 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts versus 5 walks, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, opponents hitting 188 against him. Although 5 of the 6 hits have been extra base hits, 4 doubles, and a homer. He is 9th in Division III in strikeouts per 9 innings at exactly 14 strikeouts per 9. In his previous starts this season, in Game 2 against Castleton, went 3 innings, 1 hit, 6 strikeouts versus 3 walks. Against UMass Dartmouth in Game 2 last Saturday, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, struck out 5 and walked 1, and pitched in Game 2 on Wednesday. Went an inning, allowed 2 hits, struck out 3, and walked 1 as the Beacons lost that game 5-4. UMass Boston leads it 4-0. Could have been more, but that perfectly thrown ball from Metzdorf able to get Q at home plate. For Plymouth State, we'll bring you the lineup at some point, but realistically, it's a very similar lineup with the exception of Gavin Cook, the team's regular starting catcher, in for Nick Keeley. Same top 6 in the lineup: Sokolowski, Metzdorf, Salta, Crane, Wasilewski, and Fillion. The first pitch from Ryan is in there for strike 1. The sophomore is Sandwich Mass, 6'1", 165. First team Atlantic Coast League All-Star at Sandwich High School. Breaking ball in the outside corner, 0-2 to Sokolowski. Luke went 1 for 4 in Game 1, doubled, struck out twice, and walked 1. Ryan's 0-2, breaking ball low and outside, trying to get him to chase, 1-2. Ryan looks in. 1-2 offering, fouled off. One and two coming to Sokolowski, the freshman out of Waterford, Connecticut, 5'8", 175, who played football as well at Waterford High School. True freshman, takes it up high, 2-2. Sokolowski, who started every game this season, came in today hitting 296. That is ball 3. I think Corliss was a little bit caught up there. He didn't do a great job of framing, but that certainly looked like it could have been strike 3. 3-2 offering, popped up. Easy play for Slattery, comes in on it. And Sokolowski is retired on the pop-up. It'll bring up Drew Metzdorf, who's already been busy here in Game 2. A couple of difficult plays he wasn't able to make at second base. He had a good Game 1, reached each of his first 4 times. Single, a triple, a walk, also reached on an error, had a pair of stolen bases, and struck out swinging. First pitch is too far inside to Metzdorf. 1-0. Metzdorf, a junior out of Burlington, Mass. He's a second baseman slash pitcher. 6'1", 195, who attended UMass Amherst for 2 years before coming to UMass Boston. He had a 4-game stretch earlier this season, the final 3 games against Keene State and the first game against Castleton, where he went 14 of 21, 667 batting average, that's some easy math, 11 runs, 9 RBI, a double, a triple, and a home run over a 4-game span. This Plymouth State team can hit, and they're going to need to the way their pitching staff has struggled to begin this doubleheader. 3-0 pitch, catches the outside corner, 3-1. A bit too far inside, ball 4. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for those of you who are just able to join us. We had some technical difficulties between game 1 and game 2. You can see it's 4-0 UMass Boston. The Beacon sending 9 batters to the plate, although Ryan Leung's plate appearance was cut short because of a double steal where Plymouth State was able to get the second runner at home plate. James Salta steps to the plate, swing and a miss. The Beacons were able to score 4 runs on 3 hits, had a pair of walks and no errors. Left 1 in the top of the first. 0-1 coming here to James Salta, the grad student third baseman, who take the hit by pitch. 2 on now with 1 out, and Brendan Igerot's going to come out and just pick up the ball. I don't think he's too worried about Ryan, who has had some wildness at points, but has been one of the Beacon's best starting pitchers this year. Just to recap the top of the first, I know it would have been better to watch it by video, but again, we can only do what we can do at this point. Ben Irvine had an infield single. Steve Brookwell walked. Curtis Tyrone followed with a tough liner that Drew Metzdorf, the second baseman, took off the wrist, but couldn't get the play. Then Craig Corliss hit a hard liner past Metzdorf at second to score 2. Derek Walker got his first out of strikeout swinging. Thomas Q walked to load up the bases. Double steal. Throw from Corliss. It's in time. Blake, the tag. They say safe, but he has it off the bag, and now he's out. I don't think Blake can believe that the runner Metzdorf was safe the first time, but then he was off the bag by 1.5 feet, and Blake able to get the tag down in time. So Corliss, who had a perfect throw there, we've got to take a look at that replay when we've got it, is out. He should get the stolen base, but then he's out on the 5U. Salta, the trail runner, is safe. There's 2 outs now, 0-1 to Griffin Crane, the right fielder here in both ends of today's doubleheader. Check swing 0-2. That's a gift to the Beacon. Crane, the sophomore out of Lancaster, New Hampshire. Spring Hill College D2 transfer out of down in Alabama. He's out of New Hampshire originally. Crane in game 1 hit a home run out to right field in the 8th to kind of salvage his day. He ended up finishing 2 for 5 with a double, a homer, to go along with the strikeout, a ground out to first, and a pop-up foul to the first base. 1-2 here. Ryan looks to work around that walk and hit by pitch. Closing out that top of the first inning, Q walked to load the bases. Then there was a wild pitch that allowed Tyrone to score. RBI ground out from Devin Slattery plated Corliss to make it 4-0. Michael Comeau walked to put runners at first and second. Q stole third base, and then on a delayed double steal, Comeau stole second, but the relay throw from second got Q on a bang-bang play. We'll show you that highlight when we got a chance. Swung on a miss. Ryan, his first strikeout of the game. Plymouth State puts 2 on, but unable to score. Right now, we'll play the highlights from that first inning that we have thus far, as we'll try to catch you up to date. UMass Boston 4, Plymouth State 0 after 1. Top of the second inning, and if you weren't with us for game number 1, Plymouth State is the home team for this Little East Conference doubleheader, despite the fact they're playing in Boston and only were able to bring 28 of their 42 players as part of their COVID travel protocols. Just trying to keep people socially distanced on the bus. First pitch is high to Ryan Leung, who was at the plate to end the top of the first on that double steal. Ryan, just to track back, 1 for 4 in game 1, came in 1 for 6 on the season. Has hits in each of his last 2 appearances, though. He's 2 for his last 5. He is the Beacon starting shortstop. Gianni Zerilli, we saw him as a pinch hitter in game 1. The Beacon shortstop who had started each of the team's first 9 games. But Zerilli came out after he pinch hit. He was hit by a pitch. He came in to score, but he did not stay in the game. The Beacons used Jason Sullivan as the defensive replacement for him. 3-1 here to Leung against Derek Walker, who has already thrown a lot of pitches despite only going an inning. Already up to 40 pitches, make it 41 as Leung swings and misses, fooled by the breaking ball. And he's hoping to just give the team a little bit more than Ryan Hurlbert did in game 1, going inning to third. Breaking ball misses, and Leung is aboard. That is already the third, make it the 4th walk for Walker. Who in his first 2 appearances had 4 walks in 5 1/3 innings. Now he's up to 8 walks in 6 1/3. So he does have 10 strikeouts. Runner takes off. Throw from Cook is a little bit late, and Leung is in there. Beacon's getting aggressive here in game number 2. Already for UMass Boston. They are 4 for 5 on stolen bases. Hugh has already had 2 attempts. Went 1 for 2 in the first inning. And he still thinks he's safe. 0-1 hit up the middle. Diving effort from Ruthier, not going to get there. And Leung is going to come home to score. So they only got 4 in the first, but they lead it 5-0 on an RBI single for Irvine, who, again, started the day 0 for 2 and now has 4 hits and 3 walks in his last 7 trips to the plate. I don't know what the record for most consecutive plate appearances reaching, but Irvine is certainly having himself a Sunday. Reached 7 times in 9 trips. Brings up Steve Brookwell. Walked and scored in the first inning. Brookwell, the senior right fielder in his 2nd season with the Beacons. Out of Hightstown, New Jersey, taking off his Irvine. He stole 1 in the first inning, and he's got another. Ball got away from the shortstop Ruthier there. Irvine, I think, was going to be safe either way. Irvine's got 3 steals on the day. He hadn't been all that successful coming into today. Just 3 for 5, tied for 2nd on the team, but he's now 6 of 8. Came in with a reputation as a speed demon. 1-1, foul down the right field line. This one's going to get over towards the parking lot. 1-2. Good to see Brookwell back in the lineup. He missed a couple games after trying to beat out an infield single against Rhode Island College last week. Started game 2 against Western Connecticut State after missing a couple of games, and is now back and playing at both ends of today's doubleheader and playing well. The guy who came into today only hitting .222, but that'll go up. He had 3 hits in game 1, finished 3 for 7. But he's another guy, just like Irvine, at the top of the lineup. He's fast. 2-2 offering to Brookwell, check swing. That'll be enough to keep him alive. And Plymouth State now has double action out in the bullpen. It looks like a pair of right-handed relievers. Chris Hanna, who we saw in Game 1, and Brian McGrath. Taking off for third is Irvine. That one skips past as Irvine has the steal. He's now 3 for 3 in Game 2, 4 for 4 on the day. And this was the Ben Irvine that we kind of expected to see when he came to UMass Boston after a 2019 season where he didn't play that much. Three-2 offering to Brookwell. Chops over to third baseman Salta. Irvine has to retreat. Throw across is in time. James Salta, the third baseman, who usually has his brother Andrew Salta behind him in left field. Not today. Andrew has been the DH in both games. Brings up Curtis Tyrone. Beacon's senior DH, who had an infield single and scored in game number 1. Huge hack, fouled it off. Inning number 1, excuse me. It's been, can't really complain about it being a long day. We're only in the second inning, the top of the second inning of game 2. But that first game felt like it was an eternity. 3 hours and 37 minutes in an 8-inning Mercy Roll victory. Tyrone, 2 walks, 2 hits, 2 for 4 in game number 1. Leads the Beacons in hits and walks on the season. Curtis now is 16 for 41 with 9 walks versus just 2 strikeouts. Really good with the bat. Puts the ball in play here to likely score the very speedy Irvine. And he does. Hits it over to Metzdorf. Makes the play. But in comes run number 6. And the aggressiveness on the base pass, both with Leong, who stole second, and then Irvine, who stole second and third, allows the Beacons to score a second run this inning with just the 1 hit overall. Productive out from Tyrone brings up Craig Corliss. Corliss had an RBI single past the second baseman Metzdorf and took second on the throw. Came in to score in the first inning. Corliss had a triple and a homer in game 1 to go along with 2 walks and a hit by pitch. He's a double on the day, shy of the cycle. 1-0 pitch is low, and that's honestly probably the easiest of the 3 extra base hits for Corliss. Hit his first home run of the season, and he came in with 3 doubles, no triples, and no homers, so he's already gotten the 2 hard ones. Just needs to put a ball in a gap. 2-0, this one's hit out to left. This is only going to be a single, but it's the 5th hit here for UMass Boston, and we're only in the top of the second inning. It's also the 4th hit of the day for Corliss, who has been retired 1 time in 8 trips to the plate. Brings up Aiden Blake. Struck out swinging for the first out of the top of the first inning. Blake pops this one up a mile high. Calling for it is Ruthier on the right side of the infield, and he makes a basket catch. Wasn't easy, but he's able to make the play. UMass Boston adds 2 more. It's 6-0 through an inning and a half here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me. I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Bottom of the second inning. It's Andrew Wasilewski, Brody Fillion, and the first time we've seen Gavin Cook today as they face off against Dylan Ryan. Ryan put himself in a little bit of a pickle in the bottom of the first. Walked Drew Metzdorf and then hit James Salta all with one out. But on a double steal, Metzdorf was called out after he overslid third base when he had been safe originally. So that was the second out, and then he was able to strike out Griffin Crane, the cleanup hitter, to get out of the jam with the runner on second base. Faces off against Andrew Wasilewski. 0-2 quickly to Wasilewski, the left fielder, who has really struggled today. 0 for 3 in game one. Did reach on a hit by pitch and a walk, but went 5 for 7 yesterday against Western Connecticut State in a doubleheader with 3 doubles, a triple, and a homer to go along with 8 RBI. So Wasilewski just needs a single on the weekend to hit for the cycle, but after the way he hit yesterday, you were hoping for a little bit more if you're a Plymouth State fan. It's great to have him back in the lineup. He had missed a few games after their COVID pause. Didn't come back right away. COVID pause is making it so difficult for some of these teams. UMass Boston, lucky they had their COVID pause during preseason, so avoided having to adjust much of their schedule. 2-2, swung on and missed. Dylan Ryan, who came in averaging 14 strikeouts per 9 innings, which was good for 9th in Division III, has 2 strikeouts in his first 4 outs. That math is a little bit harder for me to do, but certainly on pace, right about that 14, actually 13 and a half mark. Swung on and missed. What a breaking ball that fooled Brody Fillion. Fillion, the first baseman in both ends of today's doubleheader, junior out of Littleton, New Hampshire, clubs that one foul, way out ahead. Played at Castleton his freshman season, making his 5th start of the year, 8th total appearance, came in 5 for 12 coming into the weekend. Fillion in game 1 had a single hit, went 1 for 5 with a strikeout. Swung on and missed, back-to-back-to-back strikeouts for Ryan. He has 3 thus far, and he'll face Gavin Cook, grad student out of Littleton, New Hampshire, who did not play in game 1, has been the team's starting catcher all season long. Cook played in both ends of yesterday's doubleheader, which is what I assumed. I didn't have time to update my stats from before that I had done before yesterday's games last night. Went 2 for 8 yesterday with a run scored and an RBI, but did not play in game 1 today, trying to get him a rest after he caught 16 innings. Quickly behind 0-2 as Ryan looks to strike out the side. Ryan's ready. Ryan wants, give me the ball back, and I'm immediately ready to go. I want to set the tempo right now, especially with no one on base. 0-2 on the outside corner, strike 3. Dylan Ryan, who came in with a massive amount of strikeouts, has 4 through 2 frames. It is all Beacons, just like it was in game 1 to start, 6-0.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
UMass Boston here in the top of the third inning will go 6-7-8. Q, Slattery, and Comeau. Beacon scored 4 in the first, 2 more in the second. Thomas Q walked, stole second, moved over to third base, and then was thrown out as part of a delayed double steal in which he was tagged out at home plate, trying to score the Beacon's 5th run of the first inning. That was the final out of inning number 1. Q had a pair of doubles, a pair of runs scored in game number 1. 6-0-1 breaking ball high. Derek Walker working into his 3rd inning. Minimized the pitch count in that second frame as he enters this inning with 58 pitches. Figure that he's probably going to be able to go at least 80 if he can be consistent here and kind of limit the damage. Gets a swing and miss 1 and 2. The Beacons, I don't want to compare this to game 1 because game 1 certainly took a negative twist for the Beacons at point. 1-2 misses high with the breaking ball, but they raced out to a 10-0 lead after 2.5 in game 1, only to see Plymouth State come all the way back to cut it to 10-7 before they eventually won 19-8 as Q fouls that one off. Good defensive swing. So the Beacons happy with the way this game is starting, but they certainly can't kind of rest on their laurels. They hope that Ryan can go even deeper. Although UMass Boston, despite the fact Cianciolo only went 3 2/3 innings, they only had to use 4 pitchers. 2-2, and Q whiffs on the fastball that was outside. That is the second strikeout of the day for Derek Walker, and it brings up Devin Slattery. Slattery grounded out to the second baseman to drive in Craig Corliss back in the first to make it 4-0. Hits this one out to center. Sokolowski going back on it. Looks like he has a beat and makes the play. Quick 2 outs. Plymouth State did not retire the Beacons in order at any point in game 1. To be fair, the Beacons only retired the Panthers in order twice, and that was the 2 innings Alex Amalfi, who's one of their best pitchers, pitched in relief. Big swing and a miss from Comeau. Comeau walked and was the lead runner, the first runner to take off. He was stealing second and stole second before Q was thrown out trying to steal home on that delay double steal. 1-1 here to Comeau. Beacons senior first baseman out of Andover, Mass, former football and baseball player at Andover High School. Another swing and a miss, 1-2. Comeau was red hot as a sophomore, trying to win the starting first baseman job. 7 of 13, 6 runs scored, and 3 RBI with 4 doubles and a homer. That's on the outside half before he had a hand injury that ended his sophomore season. So it's a 1-2-3 inning, the first of the day for Panthers pitching. And it's 6-0 through 2.5 as we'll see 8-9-1 for the Panthers.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, and I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Dylan Ryan steps out for the third time this afternoon. He has been excellent. Had a little hiccup with a back-to-back walk and hit by pitch, but since then, all he's done is get a runner stealing after the runner overran third base. 4 consecutive strikeouts, and now he'll take it himself on a 1-3 putout of Joe Ruthier. Starting shortstop for Plymouth State. It brings up Andrew Salta, the designated hitter. Salta, the grad student and twin of James Salta, the third baseman, did not have a good first game. He went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, 2 looking, and flew out to center for his first hit of the day. Misses out wide. Salta coming in, not quite the numbers of his brother, who was hitting over 400, but still a very respectable .317 batting average. On base percentage of .473 and a slugging percentage of .390. The biggest thing is he and Griffin Crane, both 11 for 11 on the base pass. Well, James Salta hasn't been on the base pass, so that really minimizes the potential chaos he can cause out of the 9 spot. 2-0 misses out wide, 3-0. Plymouth State did have a couple of stolen bases in game 1, but they certainly didn't run wild. They finished 3 for 3. Team averages just under 4 steals per game. In fact, the Beacons stole 5 bases in 5 tries against Plymouth State pitching, including 2 steals from the catcher, Nico Kaidi. In this game, it's been even more lopsided. Ben Irvine by himself has 3 stolen bases. Beacons are 4 of 5 as Salta finally able to reach on a walk. The second walk issued by Ryan, who has allowed 3 base runners, but Panthers still looking for their first hit as it'll be Tukolsky stepping up. He popped up to the second baseman on a shallow pop. Barely made it out to the red turf of the base path in the bottom of the first. First pitch is high and outside, 1-0. Sokolsky, despite being in the leadoff spot, had a 5-game RBI stretch as they thought they had the runner Salta out at first base on the pickoff. He had an RBI in 5 consecutive games from April 10th to the 15th. Very impressive from a true freshman who has stepped in and immediately made an impact. 2-0, and Corliss is going to have a conversation with Dylan Ryan, just trying to settle him down. Pitched well today. Here as Ryan is looking to avoid, working himself into a little bit more trouble. 3-0. Panthers have yet to do anything with the bats against Dylan Ryan. More been his own control issues that have caused a little bit of an issue. Does have 4 strikeouts to go along with those 2 walks and a hit by pitch. That catches the corner. 3-1 now. Misses low. Back-to-back walk from Ryan, who, to go along with his 14 Ks coming in, did have 5 walks in his 9 innings. Thus far, 4 Ks, a hit by pitch, and a walk. Brings up Drew Metzdorf, who walked, moved to second on a hit by pitch, stole. The runner takes off for third. It's another good throw, and getting tagged out at third is Andrew Salta, who was a perfect 11 for 11 on the season. But Craig Corliss, twice they've tried to do a steal of third base, and both times a good low throw that was in time. I thought that they actually had Metzdorf the first time at third base. The base umpire said he was safe, but then he overslid the bag, and they got him. So Plymouth State now has twice run into outs on the base pass here in the first 3 innings, and they've only had 4 base runners. 0-1 on the outside half, and it seems like both times Plymouth State is run into an out, Dylan Ryan comes back with a little bit more conviction, a little bit more confidence as he faces Metzdorf here. Heading the count 0-2, already with 4 strikeouts, including striking out the side in the second, looking for a 5th. And asking for time and getting it is Metzdorf. Ryan certainly works faster when there are not runners aboard, but who doesn't? I'm not going to lie. I did not pitch for very long or very well back in Little League, but you certainly got a few more things going on in your mind that you have to focus on when there are runners on. So it's a natural reaction. Looked over at first, the 0-2 offering, and able to hold off as Metzdorf wisely as that breaking ball tailed away from the outside half. One-two coming from Ryan, and it's fouled off. Dylan pitching a little bit more economically than Walker. Came into this at bat with just 41 pitches. Walker at 69 through 3 frames. Just had a 1-2-3 inning. Figure will probably come out for the 4th, but I don't know how long they can have him go. His season high was 3 innings. This was his first start of the year. 1-2 offering from Ryan. Breaking ball catches the inside half. Metzdorf can't believe it. That ball had some serious movement We'll take a look at the replay after a commercial break. It is UMass Boston 6, Plymouth State 0 here on the Little East Conference Network.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Take a look at that called strike 3 on Drew Metzdorf. He didn't like it at all. Difficult to tell from our angle up top. You probably had a better look the first time. Let's see where this ball ends up. Metzdorf doesn't like it. It's inside. That pitch is inside. But home plate umpire Sam Finn thought it looked good. I don't think it came back quite enough to catch the corner, but I'm not the guy who makes the final decision. Derek Walker back out there for a fourth frame. This would be a season high, as he will face Ryan Leung, Ben Irvine, and Steve Brookwell. Leung is actually the first Beacon to appear in all 3 innings at the plate. Only his first at-bat never truly ended. Beacons ran into an out on the base pass. He walked, stole second, and scored on a Ben Irvine RBI single in the second. Irvine, the Beacons' leadoff hitter, hit second in this inning to be followed by Brookwell. Irvine has reached 7 consecutive times, 4 singles and 3 walks. So that's a nice little streak to watch. 0-1 coming to Leung. Fouls it off 0-2. Ryan went 1 for 4 in game 1. This is the only conference games today in the Little East Conference, but not the only games going on. At least not the only originally scheduled games. Tough to tell with this Little East Conference schedule where games are constantly being scheduled and canceled. Eastern Connecticut State swept Castleton yesterday in conference play, defeating the Spartans by scores of 10-0 and 8-2. Those games were played at EastCon. The 0-2 offer nearly catches Leung 1-2. Today they moved to Castleton, where both of these games are non-conference. Eastern defeated Castleton 12-1 in game 1. As the 21st ranked Warriors continue to be a dominant side. 1-2 hit over to the second baseman on a line, and Metzdorf able to make the play for the first out. In game number 2, the Warriors lead Castleton 10-4 as Eastern looks to move to 26-4 in 30 games. UMass Boston will play host to the Warriors on Saturday. Little East Conference doubleheader. I'll have the call for you right here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Those games are scheduled for a 12:30 and 3:30 start here on Senior Day. First pitch is low. I'm not quite sure how many seniors the Beacons will honor. The Beacons have a large senior class, but saw it with the lacrosse team yesterday. They have a large senior class of their own, and only 3 guys have decided they're not coming back. Pitch is on the outside corner, 1-1 to Irvine. Irvine's a senior, but only in his first season with the Beacons. Maybe he elects to come back. Also, it's not about eligibility with these guys. It's about how many classes they have left and do they want to continue paying tuition. Because last spring doesn't count against any spring athletes' eligibility. This year, fall, winter, and spring don't count against eligibility. Irvine hits it over to the second baseman. This should end the streak of 7 consecutive times reaching, and it will. Irvine now 2 for 3, and Walker has really settled in, retiring 5 in a row. Looking for back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. So yeah, I mean, you can see when you just look at this Beacons lineup, Irvine listed as a senior, Brookwell listed as a senior, Tyrone and Corliss top 4 of the Beacons lineup, but none of these guys have spent 4 years at UMass Boston. As Brookwell gets on the top of it, hits it over to Salta, who will throw it across, and holding on to the bag is Crane. So a quick 1-2-3 inning. Head to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 6-0 UMass Boston.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Continuing on about our conversation about the LEC, we talked about the only other games going on today. Plymouth State is going to get right back on the bus tomorrow, and they are going to go to Southern Maine for games at noon and 3 p.m. First game is a conference game. Game 2 is not. Then they'll be off until Wednesday when they host Southern Maine. Again, the first conference game at noon. The second game is non-conference. On Tuesday, UMass Boston's the lone game of the conference slate. They'll go to Rhode Island College, who's won 11 in a row. That's a 3:30 start. Could see Tyler Ruda pitching that one. Maybe Alec Amalfi right back on the mound after pitching 2 innings. Didn't have to throw many pitches and looked great. Then on Wednesday, there's also a lone conference game between Western Connecticut State and Keene State. Pitch is fouled off by James Salta, the 3-hole hitter who was hit by a pitch and stranded at second base in the first inning. Western and Keene State, that's an interesting one. And the first game between those two sides at Keene State, Western led by 7 runs. Keene State came all the way back and walked off. They didn't play the second game because Keene State had positive tests come back from their COVID testing. So they went into a pause for 10 days. So Western has already been to Keene once. They now have to drive all the way back up to Keene State for the second half of that doubleheader. Those two teams currently sitting 8th and 9th in the Little East Conference. 3-1 pitch, too far inside, and Ryan gives up a leadoff base runner for the first time today. On Thursday, UMass Dartmouth and Keene State will play, listed as a conference doubleheader, but only one game is showing, so Keene State back in action. And then a ton of games next weekend, doubleheaders for most of the teams on Friday and Saturday. UMass Boston will also take on Keene State for a doubleheader on Sunday. Lots of games left. The last conference games are scheduled for Monday, May 10th. There's also games scheduled for Tuesday, May 11th, although I doubt they'll be played if they're not conference. And then the conference pod schedules. Dylan Ryan misses inside 1-1 here to Griffin Crane, who struck out swinging to end the first inning, one of 5 strikeout victims thus far for Dylan Ryan. The 1 seed will host the 4 and the 5 seeds at one hosting site. The 2 seed will host the 3 and the 6 seeds at another hosting site, with the winner of those mini tournaments, double elimination, winner of those mini tournaments going on to face the opposite winner in the Little East Conference Championship Series. So instead of having the traditional 6 teams all at one site double eliminations, that gets away on the pickoff. First error for either side, and moving up to second is James Salta. It'll be a 2-weekend tournament, game starting on the 13th. The 2 lower seeds in both pods, so for the 1 seed, it'll be the 4 and 5 playing to get the chance to play the 1 seed. In the 2 seed pod, it'll be the 3 and the 6. You then play, the winner plays the higher seed. Winner of that game is into the championship series of that pod at 2-0. And the 2 losers will play, and so on and so on. Big thing is, really want to pick some wins up early. Is Brendan Eigerboat's going to come out and just, it seems like it's something a little bit with the mechanics of Dylan Ryan, as the whole infield was going to come in, and Brendan Eigerboat just says, nope, this is between Craig Corliss and we can solve this issue for Dylan Ryan. It seems to me, and I'm certainly not a pitching coach, that this might be mechanical. Ryan's, when he's struggling, it seems like he's come out a little bit wider in his arm angle, where he's just releasing a little bit wider. It could be a number of things, but Brendan Eiger was a real short conversation. He clearly knew what he wanted to say. He's not worried about the score here or the situation. It's more about just getting his pitcher right after he just walked his 4th batter and now is behind 3-1 here to Griffin Crane. 5 strikeouts, 4 walks, a hit by pitch. No hits thus far for the Panthers. 3-1, swung on and missed. Breaking ball that pulled Crane. (3-2) coming to Crane with Salta out at second base after the walk and the error. Hit through the right side. That's the first hit of the day for the Panthers. Coming in to score is Salta. No reason to throw home. And it's 6-1 in favor of the Beacon. RBI single for Crane through the right side. And now if you're Ryan, who came in with a 1.00 ERA and 9 innings of work, you're just trying to settle back down. Doesn't matter that you gave up a run. You're still up 5. You just don't want this to become a crooked number inning. Andrew Wasilewski steps up. He struck out swinging as part of 4 consecutive strikeouts for Ryan, including 3 in the second. Pops up the first pitch he sees to shallow left center. Coming in is Q, and he's going to not be able to make the running catch. Picks it up, has to play at second, and the throw is not there in time. See if that goes down as a hit or an error, as that ball was hit up high, but the issue is with the wind today, it's actually blowing away from the fielders on anything left to right, and that made it a long run for Thomas Q, and that's going to be an error. Two on with no outs, excuse me. A walk, an RBI single, and an error. And it brings Brody Philly into the plate, who struck out swinging in the second. First pitch to Brody is high and outside, 1-0. Brody did not play in either game on Tuesday against Plymouth State, but he did play once yesterday. Went 2 for 4 with a run scored, a homer, and 3 RBI. He's got another hit today. Hits that one into left. That will score Crane. And it is a 6-2 game. 4 consecutive batters have reached. A walk, RBI singles from Crane, and the error by Q on the fly ball from Wasilewski. And this one's becoming a little bit more similar to game 1, although circumstances aren't nearly as dire compared to where they were. The Beacons leading 10-0, and then it became 10-7. 6-2 here. Runners at first and second. Still no out for Gavin Cook, the catcher, who struck out looking to end the second. Wasilewski at second, Philly in at first. Obviously a little bit more concerned about Wasilewski, who is 5 for 5 on the year in stolen base attempts. We've already seen Plymouth State try to steal third twice today against Corliss here in game 2. Cook, after going 1 for 4 in both ends of yesterday's doubleheader with a double and an RBI, batting average is up to .229, making his 15th appearance at 12 start. 8 for 35, 5 runs scored, a homer, and 6 RBIs. Struck out 11 times now versus 6 walks. And even Cook is 5 for 5 on the base path. Plymouth State, 62 of 67 coming into this game 2. They are 1 for 3 in game 2, so make it 63 of 70. Still a very high percentage, over 90%. Pickoff throw comes to second, but Wasilewski was aware of the danger. He's back in time. Ryan looks back at second. 0-1 offering to Cook. Breaking ball in there. 0-2. Really just needs to bear down here. Love to get a ground ball double play. But even a strikeout, a pop-up. Got 7, 8, 9. Attack these next couple of batters. Keep this inning to just the 2 runs. It includes 2 errors. This one will get knocked down by Comeau. What a diving effort by Michael Comeau. And that is a huge play by the senior first baseman. In games like this, where they're giving Nico Cotties a rest and putting Craig Corliss behind the plate, Michael Comeau would love to be an elite hitter, and I think he certainly has the capabilities, but he brings you something with his infield defense. I don't know if Craig Corliss makes that play. Craig Corliss is a catcher by trade. We've seen him throw a couple of runners out. He's playing great behind the plate. But at first base, he doesn't look as comfortable. Michael Comeau looks really comfortable over there at first, and that was a run-saving play by Comeau to get the first out of the inning. Breaking ball in there for strike 1 to Joe Ruthier, who grounded back to the mound for out number 1 of the 3rd inning. 0-1 showing bunt and bunting it foul in the squeeze. 0-2. If we can, we'll show you that play again by Comeau. That's a really good full extension dive. Take a look at that play after the next pitch. 0-2 here to Ruthier. Brian would love a punch out. 0-2. Fastball high. Let's take a look right now. He denied Gavin Cook his first hit of the doubleheader. This ball is past the runner at first base, which might have made it more difficult. Comeau not only able to make the play, but able to get overs. This one skips past Corliss, and the big bounce off the backstop kept the runner at third base, Wasilewski, from scoring. Because it's not a short backstop, there's definitely a good amount of room, but because it's a hard backstop, that ball took one bounce and bounced right back at Corliss, who was sprawled out, and that made Wasilewski have to think about it and ultimately stay at third base. So a bit of a break for the Beacon. Two, 1 out, 2 runs already in. And taking off from third, or at least showing it, that should have been strike 3, and it will be. Gavin Cook is frustrated, and I don't know if it's because of the call or because the runner at third, Wasilewski, might have taken his attention. Wasilewski faked as if he was taking off for a steal of home, and in the end, stopped. And if I'm Gavin Cook, I know something's going on around me, and that's going to really affect me. In the end, it's a strikeout looking. It's actually Joe Ruthier, not Cook, who was the previous batter. Great play by Comeau. So that's the 6th strikeout for Ryan, all 6 against different batters, and it brings up Andrew Salta, who walked and was caught stealing trying to take third base back in the 3rd. 1-0 pitch to Andrew Salta, misses wide. 2-0. Certainly a little bit harder for Wasilewski over there at third base to take as big of a lead now that Corliss can see him without the batter in his way. 2-0, 2 out, 2 on here in the bottom of the fourth. Popped up foul. Remember, UMass Boston back in action on Tuesday at Rhode Island College. 2 more home games remaining. Games against nationally ranked Eastern Connecticut State next Saturday at 12:30 and 3:30 here at Monin Park. Swing and a miss from Andrew Salta. 2-2 now with 2 outs. Plymouth State right back in action tomorrow. A 12-3 doubleheader against nationally ranked Southern Maine. 6 games in 3 days. 3 of those conference. Actually, 5 of those conference. The 2 games yesterday against Western, the 2 today against UMass Boston, and then 1 of the 2, the first game tomorrow against Southern Maine. That is a brutal stretch. And it's such an important part of their season. Came in 2-5, 1-2 yesterday. Lost game 1 here, trying to earn the split, and then takes on Southern Maine tomorrow. Hit up the middle. Leung fields, scoop, throws, and Comeau couldn't make the play. Bounced in front of Comeau. It's going to be another error. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the shortstop or the first baseman, but that allows a 3rd run in the inning to come in. And for Leung, he just does not look as comfortable on the left side of the infield with some of those throws. 3rd error already on the Beacons. An error on Ryan on a pickoff, an error by Q. Unable to make a catch. And now this error is going to go against Comeau. So 3 errors in the inning. Wasilewski able to score. That run's unearned. Hit out to left. Going back on it is Q. Not going to get there. A 4th run will score. Q's throw to 3rd. Not going to be there in time. It's going to be a RBI double for Sokolowski. And just like that, Plymouth, just as they did in Game 1, able to answer back after the Beacons jumped out to a big lead. In Game 1, it was 10-0 to 10-7. Here in Game 2, it is 6-0 to 6-4, and there's 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs for Drew Metzdorf, the 9th batter of the inning. And again, just as they did in Game 1, 6 of the 7 runs charged to Tim Cianciolo were unearned. Well, in this inning, all 4 runs for Plymouth State, just 1 of them have been earned. Metzdorf has walked and struck out looking. First pitch to him, that big breaking ball that misses up high, 1-0. This is not a formula that Brendan Eigerboat's going to be happy with. Obviously, the hot start, good. But letting the team right back into it, not so good. It's the 1-0 is hit out to left. Tough play for Q going back. He's going to make it. Plymouth gets 4, but that's all they'll get. As Ryan able to get the final batter. It is 6-4 UMass Boston through 3 innings.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Derek Walker is back out for his 5th inning of work. Until yesterday, when Braxton Brown went the full 7 innings in a Mercy Rule victory over Western Connecticut State, a Plymouth pitcher had not pitched longer than 6 innings all season. I don't think Walker is going to get there because his pitch count was so astronomically high early on in this game. 40 pitches in the first inning. But after back-to-back 1-2-3 frames, the first time that a Plymouth State pitcher had thrown 1-1-2-3 inning, much less 2, he comes in with just 78 pitches here in the 5th, and maybe you can squeeze another inning, maybe even 2, if he can continue to shut down this Beacons offense after giving up 6 runs in the first 2 innings. He'll have to face the middle of the order, Tyrone, Corliss, and Blake. Tyrone is 1 for 2 in this one. A single to second and a run scored in the first, and an RBI ground out to the second baseman in the second that plated Ben Irvine. And if I'm Drew Metzdorf, you might be on your toes here. He's had to face a lot of action here in game number 2. Breaking ball on the outside half. Tyrone didn't love the call from Sam Finn. Oh, 1 pitch is low, 1-1. One offering hit out to right. This one gave Metzdorf no chance to make the play, and Tyrone has yet another hit. Second of game 2, fourth of the day, is reached 6 times in 9 trips. Brings up Craig Corliss, who is a perfect 2 of 2. A 2-run single to right in the first, single to left. Had a triple and a home run in game 1. Just a double away from the cycle here in this doubleheader. One 0 offering, hit over to the third baseman. Salta bobbles it, really ate him up, and we've seen that a lot today from James Salta. He has committed at least 3 or 4 errors, and he just doesn't look comfortable on some of these balls over at third base. That's his first error here in game 2. First error for the team. In game number 1, I believe he was called for at least 2 errors. And he was, so that's his third error. Showing bunt here is Aiden Blake with no outs and 2 on. Pulls it back on the fastball that was inside. And Derek Walker kind of puts out a peace offering. Hey, my bad, I wasn't trying to hit you. Why would you? You're just trying to get an out. Now, granted, you're trying to force Blake to maybe pop it up or put it where he doesn't want him. Or he doesn't want it so they can get one of the lead runners. Tyrone and Corliss, not the fastest beacons on the base pass, so Plymouth State would love to try to steal an out at either second or third. Blake is not showing bunt here. At least not yet. 1-0 to Blake, and never showed bunt. Took it for ball 2. Blake in that first game, 2 for 5 with the run scored and 4 RBI along with the walk. Here in game 2, he's 0 for 2, a strikeout swinging and a pop-up short. Aiden was in a battle at shortstop last year for the starting job with Gianni Zerilli. Started one of the Beacons' 4 games. This year, he's been their starting third baseman, playing alongside Zerilli up until today's doubleheader. Blake asked for time. Gianni Zerilli, Beacon starting shortstop, is not started in either of today's 2 games. Came off the bench as a pinch hitter, but was replaced defensively in game 1. Part of a 19-8 8-inning mercy roll victory for the Beacon. Season high 19 runs and 18 hits. 2-0 offering is inside 3-0, and Blake might not have to pull the bat off the shoulder to advance these 2 runners. Thomas Q awaits on deck as Brendan Egerbrook gives him some instruction. 3-0 coming from Walker is low, and the Beacons have the bases loaded. A walk, an error by the third baseman on a potential double play ball. Probably could have gotten the lead runner. And now the 5th walk from Walker. First since the 2nd inning. And that might do it. Talked about Walker needed to continue to pitch efficiently. Well, he's struggled a bit right here. And with 86 pitches, I think his day is done. So Derek Walker goes 4+ innings. We'll bring you the final line on Walker and the numbers on the 8th pitcher of the day for Plymouth State after this commercial break.
Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
The UMass Boston Baseball.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
The new pitcher for Plymouth State is junior Brian McGrath, listed as an infielder on the roster, 6 foot 195, out of Franklin, Mass. Attended the Salisbury School down in Connecticut. For McGrath, this is his second pitching appearance. Pitched on Tuesday against Castleton, won an inning, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. He has started 2 games as a position player. Both of those came in early April. Went 1 for 9. The hitter is Thomas Q. Q walked, stole a base, and then was caught stealing, trying to steal home. His first pitch fouls it off down the third base side and struck out swinging. Both of those coming against Derek Walker. Walker's final line, not quite finished. 4+ innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned. Could become as many as 9. 5 walks versus 3 strikeouts. Base is full of Beacons. 1-1 count. Tyrone is at third base. Single to right. Craig Corliss reached on an error with a third baseman, and Aiden Blake walked to end Walker's outing. 1-1 here to Q, the Beacons left fielder. Takes it low. 2-1, nowhere to put him. Q to be followed by Devin Slattery, and if it gets that far, Michael Comeau. Q hits it out to center. This will score a run. Tagging is Tyrone. Tagging at second is Corliss, and each of the first 2 Beacons runners will advance on the sacrifice fly from Thomas Q. So the Beacons get 1 of their runs back, push the lead back to 3 at 7-4. It had been 6. And Devin Slattery, who is 0 for 2 in this one, an RBI ground out to second and a fly out to center, will look to push another run across at minimum. Fly ball to one of the outfielders. If it's deep enough, should be enough to score Corliss, who, again, a first baseman / catcher, but he's an athlete. Nobody on the Beacons is minus speed. When you talk about plus speed as a positive, that's your Ben Irvine. The Beacons, I mean, I would say Corliss and Tyrone, two of their starters who are probably the slowest guys. They're probably kind of just even, maybe a little bit slower than average, but certainly not guys who are, every time they hit the ball on the ground, you're worried about a double play. Even Nico Cotty's the other catcher, pretty fast guy himself. The 0-1, the Slattery's up high, 1-1. I don't know if anyone has ever used the term minus, but when you're talking to yourself for going on 6 hours now, some weird things come to mind. 1-1 pitch with 1 out, too far inside, 2-1. 2-1 count to Slattery. Corliss at third. Blake at first base. The lights are already on here at Monin Park. Hit out to right. This should score a run. Coming in on it is Crane. Not going to get it. Reading it well was Blake. He's going to take off for third. And the Beacons lead it 8-4 on an RBI single from Devin Slattery. Slattery is still yet to have an official at-bat here in a home game at Monin Park, but he's enjoying his first at-bats at Monin Park. He now has 3 hits and 3 RBI in the day to go along with 3 walks. So 3 for 6 is reached 6 times. It brings up Michael Comeau, who made a great defensive play in the bottom of the 4th inning. He has walked, stole a bag, and struck out looking. Pops up the bunt. Not for the netting. That could have bounced right into my hands. Not where you want to pop up a bunt, but I could just see the trajectory. I was ready, folks. 0-1. It's been a long ball since it's been a long time since we've gotten a foul ball in the press box here for UMass Boston home game. In fact, the last time I can remember one was when the Beacons still played at Campanelli Field out in Brockton. As that's hit out to left, tagging is Blake. Diving effort and not able to make the play is Wasilewski. Heading for third is Slattery. They're going to send him. Heading to third is the hitter. That's Comeau. He's going to be out on the tag. The run will score. That was only the second out, so it doesn't matter. Comeau, I think, was safe, but then he slid the bag. That was really aggressive base running there, or a call from Brad Fogel to send each of the 2 trail runners. In the end, it is a 2-run triple. The lead is back out to 6, just like that. Plymouth State scores 4. UMass Boston answers. Comeau race, so there's no one on for Ryan Leung. The 9-0 hitter who steps up to the plate for the 4th time in 5 trips. This is his 3rd official trip. Walked, stole a bag, and scored in the 2nd. Lined out to 2nd in the 4th. UMass Boston has now scored 29 runs in 13 frames. Calling for it is McGrath, and he makes the play. What was scary about that is McGrath was only a foot or 2 away from where Leung's bat had started to roll, and that could have been really bad. McGrath, an infielder/pitcher, though, confident in his own abilities, and that will do it, but not before the Beacons score 4 more runs. It is 10-4 UMass Boston here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and we're going to see a pitching change.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
The final line on UMass Boston, sophomore starter Dylan Ryan, 4 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts, and 4 walks. He continues to have to wait for that first victory of the season despite pitching well again. Defense with 3 errors in the bottom of the fourth to allow Plymouth to score 4 runs, and in the end, that ended his outing after 77 pitches. He also struggled a bit with his control, 4 walks and a hit by pitch. The new pitcher is DJ Lopes, who pitches for just the second time this season, but man, was he fun to watch in his first outing. The junior lefty out of North Dartmouth, Mass, 6'2", 230, who attended Greater New Bedford Vocational Tech High School. Say that 3 times fast. Teammates with UMass Boston starting pitcher Tyler Aruda on a team that won the 2017 state title. Spent his first 2 collegiate seasons at Massasoit Community College, a really dominant community college program here in the state of Massachusetts. As a sophomore, only got to pitch once because, again, COVID ended the season, but was really good in a start against Mohawk Valley Community College. Went 7 innings, a complete game, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. The first pitch is in there for strike 1 to James Salta. As Plymouth State batted around in the fourth, 9 batters heading to the plate. Salta started it off with the walk and scored. Brookwell, a long run down the right field line. He's going to make the catch in that awkward angle over by what Pesky's pole at Fenway Park. We've never really seen anybody playing the right field fence, at least here in a collegiate game for UMass Boston. So no one's been able to claim namesake here after Monon Park opened up in 2016. Lopes, in his lone game of the season against Southern Maine, went 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, and a walk against the nationally ranked Huskies. And the Beacons opener, that high fastball scared the batter, Griffin Crane. The catcher couldn't make the play, and I think the umpire was scared as well. Fastball up near the neck head area of Crane, who has struck out swinging and had an RBI single through the right side and scored in the fourth. Lopes pitching for the first time since April the 13th, so you kind of have to wonder about how good his command is. Brendan Eibro was talking about how some of his Beacons pitchers, especially the first and second appearances, they didn't have full command of their breaking stuff. Well, Lopes has been off for a while. 2-0, misses out wide. 3-0. The nice thing is, Lopes is an upperclassman and kind of has a better feel or a little bit more confidence in his ability to make adjustments, as that is low for ball 4. Andrew Wasilewski struck out swinging the second, reached on an error by the left fielder Q in the fourth, and came in to score. He was the one who tried to make that diving play on the ball hit by Comeau that drove in 2 runs in the top half of the fifth, but he was able to throw out the base runner Comeau, who overslid the bag. We've seen that twice here. A runner at third base who probably was going to be safe, but then overslid the bag and was out on the play. That one comes in and catches Wasilewski. So just as Ryan kind of struggled with his control, a walk and a hit by pitch, that's now 5 walks and 2 hit by pitches by Beacons pitchers, here with 1 out in the fifth. Brings up Brody Fillion. Fillion struck out swinging and had an RBI single back in the fourth. For Lopes, the big thing here is just throw strikes. Got a 6-run cushion. Easier said than done, as Wasilewski took a while getting down to first base after catching that ball off of an arm, but appears to be okay. First pitch is inside to Fillion for strike one. Oh, 1 offering misses out wide. 1-1. Lopes certainly is struggling with his command a little bit here. A bit of it could just be rust. This is a guy that I think Brendan Eigebrodt wants to get back his command, wants to be able to rely on as an upperclassman, but also a guy with what we saw against Southern Maine. Great stuff. Not good, great stuff. It's the 1-1 misses up high. Crane's out at second. He reached on a walk. Wasilewski at first base for being hit by a pitch. Fouled off, 2-2. How about this for a headline and a story in Major League Baseball? An Oakland Athletic left-handed pitcher, Jesus Luzardo, is going to miss time because he broke his pinky while playing video games. 2-2 offering on the outside half, strike 3. So Lopes' first strikeout, 7th for Beacons pitching in this contest, 17th of the day. Luzardo had an x-ray the other day that showed a hairline fracture because he thumped a table while playing a video game before his start on Saturday. Baseball players get the weirdest injuries for the weirdest reasons. Remember, back in the early 2000s, a player threw out their back while sneezing in the shower. Fastball off the corner to Gavin Cook. Grad student catcher didn't play in game 1, 0 for 2 here in game 2. Struck out looking and grounded out to the first baseman on a great diving effort from Michael Comeau. Too far inside, 2-0. It was actually Sammy Sosa, the legendary Cubs right fielder and slugger, who threw out his back from a violent sneeze. And the same thing happened to a more recent player, Kevin Pillar, formerly of the Toronto Blue Jays, back in 2015. In fact, in one title of an article, they said Kevin Pillar pulled a Sammy Sosa. Didn't know that was synonymous. 2-1 fastball inside, 3-1. 3-1, 2 on, 2 outs. The Beacons lead it 10-4. Three-1 offering from Lopes. That is too far inside to Cook. And Plymouth has loaded the bases despite not getting a hit. A walk, a hit by pitch, and another walk. So Beacons pitchers have struck out 7, but they've also walked 6 and hit 2 batters. And we're going to see another meeting at the mound with the pitching coach and the entire infield. Take a moment to show you the Beacons' upcoming schedule as they close out the Little East Conference and the regular season this upcoming week with 5 more games left. Hopefully they'll be above 500 going into those last 5 games. Currently sit at 5-5 overall and in conference play. But they lead 10-4 here in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 outs. The Beacons will be at Rhode Island College on Tuesday, a 3:30 game. Rhode Island College has won 11 in a row. Then they host nationally ranked Eastern Connecticut State who's the number 1 seed currently in the Little East Conference, looks to move to 26-4. That's senior day for the Beacons, and then they'll close out the regular season the next day when they travel to Keene State for a noon and 3 doubleheader. Keene State currently sits at 8th out of 9th place in the Little East Conference, and they have a ton of games left on their schedule. Lopes' first pitch misses out wide to Joe Ruthier. Ruthier grounded back to the pitcher and struck out looking. Both of those at-bats against Dylan Ryan, the starter. 1-0 to the senior shortstop, Adam Nashua, New Hampshire. 1-0 pitch misses low, 2-0. Pitch. Fastball catches the outside half. 2-1. Nashua, New Hampshire, doing a quick Google search, was named the best place to live in America in 1997, 1987, and 1998. That's impressive that it wasn't back-to-back years. It was 11 years apart. The only city in Money Magazine's Best Place to Live in America survey that has had the number 1 ranking twice. 2-2 pitch to Ruthier. Too far inside, 3-2. And Joe, as a senior in college, probably was alive in 1998. Maybe not. Nope. I'm going to take that back. Senior hockey player, yes. Senior baseball player, probably not. 3-2 offering popped up. This is tailing towards foul territory. Comeau's going to give chase. He's going to make a diving effort. He can't quite get there. I think he actually misplaced his jump. He thought it was going to be over the fence, and instead it ended up just to his left. Really good effort from Comeau, but unfortunately the wind was blowing it further and further foul, and that just made it a really difficult play. (3-2), 2 outs, bases full of Panthers. Crane's at third, he walked. Wasilewski at second, he was hit by a pitch, and Cook was walked as well. 3-2 offering foul back, and we'll do it again. Plymouth State cut the deficit to 6-4 with 4 in the bottom of the 4th. The Beacons answer with 4 in the top of the 5th, and that one misses. That's going to be a ball 4, but no further advancement as ball gets away from Corliss and not much further. Brendan Eigerbrot's going to come out, and that might do it for Lope. And we are going to see a righty come on. So Lopes gets 2 outs, but 3 walks and a hit by pitch allows a run to score, and the deficit is back to 5 at 10-5.
Cheer for the stumbles. That he should have had that. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Final line on DJ Lopes, 2/3 of an inning, no hits. Right now is charged with the 1 earned run, could become as many as 4. 3 walks, a hit by pitch, and a strikeout. Mike Doherty, the new Beacons pitcher. A senior out of Brewster, Mass., making his 35th appearance, a 5-0 career record, 4.12 ERA, 48 1/3 innings. 43 strikeouts, 16 walks. Opponents with a career average of .236 against him. For Doherty this season, making his 4th appearance, 4.50 ERA. 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. 4 hits, 2 runs. Opponents have hit .286 against him. Part of it is just like Lopes, he pitched in the opener and then had a long layoff. Against Southern Maine in the opener, through 2 innings, struck out 3, did not allow a batter to reach. Mowed down the Huskies 6 up, 6 down. Then he pitched against Southern Maine on Tuesday, his first outing in 2 weeks. Went an inning, allowed 3 hits, 2 earned, struck out 1, and walked 1. Against Western Connecticut State the other day on Wednesday in Game 2. Went 1 inning, allowed a hit, a strikeout, and got an inning-ending double play, so he faced the minimum. He inherits a bases-loaded jam here with 2 outs. Wasilewski at third, hit by a pitch. Gavin Cook at second, he walked, and Joe Ruthier an RBI walk. Brings up Andrew Salta, who walked and was caught trying to steal third. Reached on an error and was stranded at third base. Still looking for his first hit of the day. Officially 0 for 5 on the day with the walk. About as veteran as you get in this matchup, a Beacons 4th-year senior versus a grad student DH for Plymouth State. Doherty asking for the signs again from Corliss. Plymouth State has scored all 5 of their runs in the last 2 frames. That one out wide, skipped up there. UMass Boston 4 in the first, 2 in the second to take a 6-0 lead, and then 4 more in the 5th to make it 10-4. One-0 offering to Andrew Salta, swung through and missed, 1-1. Got at least one big fan of Mike Doherty. Got a tweet that the Dough Man is back. One breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-2. Not quite as sharp as the 12-6 curveball we saw on opening day, but still enough to fool Andrew Salta there. Weird that we're about to get to the last week of the season. A lot of the Beacons staff is worried about getting full command of some of their off-speed pitches. 1-2, breaking ball misses, 2-2. Two outs, bases loaded, 1 run already in for the Panthers without a hit in the inning. 2-2 to Salta, misses out wide, the runners will be off. Plymouth State has worked 3 walks and a hit by pitch thus far in the inning, all against DJ Lope. Looking to add on right now. Beacons won the first game 19-8 after going ahead 10-0. They saw their lead cut to 10-7 before scoring 9 of the final 10 runs. Popped up. This one is going to get close to the screen. Corliss has a chance, and he bobbles it and makes the play. Oh, man, that was close. And Craig Corliss able to make the catch on the 3rd opportunity. Great work by our camera operator, Sarah St. Cyr, right above my head. And we'll have to take another look at that as Corliss, a huge play to keep this game at 10-5.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Top of the order for UMass Boston. Here in the top of the sixth, Ryan McGrath stays on. McGrath came on and got the 3 outs in the 5th inning after inheriting the bases loaded. All 3 runs came in to score. Corliss is, Irvine, is almost hit by that pitch, 2-0. McGrath got a sacrifice fly, then an RBI single, a double that Comeau almost stretched into a triple, but he was tagged out, and then a pop-up in foul territory back to the pitcher to end the frame. First time he's faced the top of the order. There's a check swing from Irvine, who had reached 7 consecutive times before grounding out to second against Derek Walker back in the 4th. In this game, he's 2 for 3, pair of singles, 3 steals and 3 tries, an RBI and 2 runs scored. And he hits this one out the middle. Great play by Ruthier, ranging to his right to throw across, holding the bag, and making the play is Brody Fillion for out number 1, as Ben Irvine is saying, hey, he didn't hold the bag. And Brendan Igebro's going to come out and have a chat with Michael Lightbody, the runner, the first base coach, and the Beacon's entire bench thought that Fillion was not able to hold the bag there. I don't know what the home plate umpire, Sam Fink, saw that Michael Lightbody couldn't have seen, but we'll see if this call is overturned. We certainly saw a caller overturned in the first game that was called by the umpire, didn't really have the better view of the play. Irvine and Fogel, the Beacon's first base coach. Actually, that's not Fogel at first. He's over at third. I'm not quite sure who's the first base coach. And they are going to call him safe. Now we're going to see Clay Jenkins come over. I was going to say the Beacon's first base coach, who I'm not quite sure who's over at first this year, he doesn't question many calls, and that was about as demonstrative as we've seen the Beacon's first base coach all season long. Clay Jenkins is having a long conversation right now with the 2 umpires, as the base umpire, Michael Lightbody, is telling Clay Jenkins what he and Sam Finn talked about before ruling Irvine safe. Now, they're going to say that that's an error on Ruthier. Not going to go down as a hit. A good throw would have gotten Irvine, despite the fact that that was a difficult play in the first place. I don't know what the original conversation was with Brendan Igebro. I don't know what Clay Jenkins is being told right now, but in the end, I would be highly surprised if they overturned the overturn call. The good news is we've got some Red Hot Chili Peppers playing right now, and that is a great jam in the middle of a baseball game that has been filled with country music all afternoon. So props to Steve Brookwell for having a very good walk-up song. This is a long conversation. I don't think there's any chance that Clay Jenkins is going to be thrown out at this point, but he is certainly frustrated. Don't blame him. Second time today, 1-1 in favor of Plymouth, 1-1 in favor of UMass Boston, that the umpires have overturned what's typically the umpire who had the call. And so we will see Irvine, who already is 3 for 3 on the base pass against, well, all 3 came against Derek Walker and Gavin Cook. He's on first base with no outs for Steve Brookwell, who is 0 for 2, showing bunt, pulls it back, takes the strike. Brookwell walked and scored in the first and is grounded out to James Salta over at third base twice. Getting close to 6:30 here on the East Coast. Game 1 went about 3.5 hours. This second game started close to 4 o'clock. We're already 2 hours and 20 minutes in here in the top of the 6th. 10-5 in favor of the road team, the Beacons. Brookwell takes a breaking ball 0-2. Just like game 1, I know I sound a little crazy, but it feels like the Beacons need to get some more runs. This Plymouth State team scored runs in bunches, scored 11 or more 6 times, scored 8 in game 1 despite the fact they didn't hit all that well. They appealed down to the base umpire. Brookwell did not go 1-2. Offense is where Plymouth State has been really good, especially because of their ability to run. Their pitching staff has struggled, though. An ERA of 8.22 coming into the day. Gave up 19 runs in the first one and 10 here in the second. Now, granted, not all of those runs were earned. Both teams had 3 errors in the first game. 13 of the 19 runs over 8 innings were charged as earned runs during game number 2. Thus far, 9 of the 10 were earned. That pitch is a bit high, 3-2. So thus far, 23 charged earned runs to Plymouth State, with no outs here in their 14th inning of work. Actually about where they are for the season. 13 earned runs in 13 innings. Taking off for second on the 3-2 is Irvine. We've got a walk, and there's 2 on. With no outs for Curtis Tyrone. First walk of the game for Brian McGrath. There's another Plymouth State pitcher warming. Would be the 9th of the day. Actually, it looks like there might be 2 pitchers warming. One of them is, well, that's weird. It's Alex Reeves, the typical starting center fielder who's out there in the bullpen. As we've seen all day from Plymouth State, they have a lot of elaborate pickoff plays, but they don't typically actually throw the ball. They've been trying to catch the Beacons sleeping, but haven't been able to do so successfully. As Tyrone takes the first pitch, low and inside, 1-0. Tyrone here in game 2 is 2 for 3. A single and a run scored in the first, a RBI ground out in the second, and a single to right and a run scored in the 5th. Another productive game for Tyrone, who's been such a big addition. I mean, you look at this Beacons lineup, it would have been really young this season, and that's not a bad thing. Definitely win young, but it's helped to have some veteran leaders, and you look at the top 4 in this lineup. Ben Irvine, senior transfer from Maryland. Steve Brookwell, came in as a junior transfer from a community college in New Jersey. Curtis Tyrone came in as a junior transfer from Suffolk. That one nearly catches him. And Craig Corliss, the senior transfer out of Siena College. That really helped the lineup. That outside of that, Aiden Blake's a sophomore who got to play in start one game as a freshman. Thomas Q has barely started his first 2 years. Devin Slattery, a sophomore, played in one game as a freshman. Michael Comeau hasn't gotten a chance to start that much, and Ryan Leung hasn't started that much. I mean, even Gianni Zarilli, who started all 4 games last year, that's 4 collegiate games under their belt. Some of the weight has been taken off those guys' shoulders, and not that the young guys have played poorly, but it just makes it easier when you got a couple of guys you can look to lead the lineup, and Tyrone and Corliss, the 3 and 4 hole hitters, certainly have been that. 3-1 with no outs, 2 on. Tyrone takes it up high. That's ball 4. So an error by the shortstop on the throw, back-to-back walks, and the bases are full of Beacons. Where have I heard that before today? I don't know, 8, maybe 9 times? Brings up Craig Corliss, who has reached 3 times in this game. 2-run single and a run scored in the first. Single out to left in the second. And reached on an error by the third baseman and scored in the 5th. And that might do it for Brian McGrath, who got the 3 outs in the 5th inning, but has not been able to get an out here in the 6th. And the parade of Panthers pitchers continues. This is the 9th pitcher of the day for Plymouth State after they used just 3 yesterday. And we'll give you the name and the numbers on the new Panthers pitcher after this commercial break.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
The temporary final line on Brian McGrath, an inning plus, 3 hits, 1 run, could become as many as 4. 2 walks. The new pitcher is typically the starting center fielder for Plymouth State. Did not play in game 1. Sophomore out of Guilford, New Hampshire, Alex Reeves, who attended the New Hampton School. Spent his freshman year at Southern New Hampshire, but wasn't on the roster up at SNU, a Division II team. Has struggled at the plate, was 2 for 20 coming into the weekend, and Reeves is making just his 2nd appearance on the year on the mound. On Tuesday against Castleton, when an inning allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, and struck out a batter in a 9-8 loss, and he actually took the loss in that contest. So an ERA of 27, and the sophomore center fielder / relief pitcher at 6'1", he steps in against the heart of the Beacons order with the bases loaded. 4, 5, 6 for Reeves here in the 6th. Corliss, Blake, and Q as he looks to keep this game within 5. Irvine is at first. He reached on a throwing error with the shortstop. Brookwell at second, a walk. Tyrone at first, a walk of his own. And Corliss takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1. Oh, 1 offering, fouled off, 0-2. 0-2 pitch to Corliss. That's a great breaking ball, but maybe a bit high. I'm a little surprised that wasn't strike 3, but who would know the strike zone better than Corliss, the Beacons' Game 2 catcher, who's been working behind the plate with Sam Finn all game long. 1-2 offering, hit through the right side. That's going to score at least one. They're going to they're going to hold Brookwell. And Tyrone is stunned by it. Now he's caught in between second and third. Tyrone has nowhere to go. And that is out number 1. Brad Fogel did put up the hand pretty early, but I'm a little bit stunned that he did, because the Beacons have been on the border of being overly aggressive all game long. That was an instance where Brookwell's really fast, and if I'm Tyrone, I'm thinking, I got to get to third, I got to get to third. Instead, the Beacons get a run, but also an out on the RBI single from Corliss, who's now has 3 hits and 3 RBI. So runners at the corners here for Aiden Blake with 1 down. And that fastball is low, 1-0. That'll go down as the rare 9-4 put out at second base. 1-0. Another run in. Blake will take it low. Blake had 4 RBI in game 1. In game 2, he's still looking for his first hit. Struck out swinging, popped up to short, walked and scored as part of that 4-run top of the 5th, as the Beacons scored 4 in the first, 2 in the second. And Blake's got another RBI hit. He's got 5 RBI today as Brookwell scores. Make it 12-5 Beacons. So Brookwell comes in, runners at first and second with 1 down. That easily could be bases loaded or even another run in. And it's not too early to start talking about another potential mercy rule. Remember, 10 runs after 7 innings. The Beacons have pushed it back out to 7. This is their largest lead of the game. It was 6-0. Plymouth cut it to 6-4. Now the Beacons have scored 6 of the past 7 runs to push it to 12-5. Corliss at second, Blake at first. For Q, it's up the middle. This one should fall in front of Sokolsky. They're going to hold Corliss, and this makes sense. So the bases are full of Beacons. Reeves is yet to retire a batter, although he does have an out on the mix-up between Tyrone and the third base coach. Corliss at third, Blake at second. Both guys had RBI hits. Q settles just for a single to center, and it brings up Devin Slattery, who is 1 for 3 with a pair of RBI in this one. First pitch to Slattery, high breaking ball that misses, 1-0. (1-0) to Slattery, fastball on the outside half, 1-1. Michael Comeau waits on deck, would be the 8th batter of the inning for UMass Boston. 1-1, misses low, 2-1. Slattery with 2 RBI in this one. Also had 2 RBI in game 1. He's making his 5th consecutive start at second base. Pops this one up on the infield. They haven't called the infield fly roll. Now they do. The left fielder, Wasilewski, will make the play in shallow left center. And that's out number 2. First batter that Reeves has retired. So the bases stay full for Comeau, who has walked, stole a base, struck out looking, and had a 2-run double that sliced away from Wasilewski in left field. And his last at-bat was thrown out trying to take third as he overslid the bag, couldn't hold on. Corliss at third, Blake at second, Q at first. 1-0 here as Alex Reeves looks to limit the Beacons here in the frame. He inherited the bases loaded. Thus far, 2 runs have scored. That actually closes out the line on McGrath, as Tyrone was the other runner that would have been charged to McGrath, but he was thrown out. That catches the corner, 2-1. The McGrath's final line, 1+ inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned. And now Corliss, the runner at third, would be the first runner charged to Reeves if he were to score. 2-1 to Comeau. That catches him in the back. Good job by Comeau to try to get out of the way. That would have been up by the head if he hadn't ducked. An RBI hit by pitch. He's got 3 RBI. In comes Corliss. And the Beacons have a 13-5 lead as Ryan Leung steps up to the plate. Leung has walked, stole a base, and scored. Lined out to second and popped up in foul territory to the pitcher with 2 on and 2 outs in the 5th. Leung could get the Beacons out to that 10-run lead with probably a single anywhere right at an outfielder with the speed of Q out there at second base. That almost caught him. Blake at third. He had an RBI single. Q a single to center. And Comeau the RBI hit by pitch. 1-0 here as Alex Reeves looks to get the Panthers out of a jam. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball catches the inside half. 1-1. Reeves attended the New Hampton school. 1-1 misses out wide. 2-1. And he's certainly added a bit of facial hair since the last time he got a headshot. Looks like he's sporting a little bit of a goatee. 2-1 offering, misses up high. 3-1. See if Leung is given the green light here, or if he's going to take until Reeves can get a pitch over the strike zone. 3-1, bases loaded, 2 outs. Leung taking all the way, and it's ball 4. So since Reeves came on, it's been RBI single, single, fly out to left, hit by pitch, and a walk, both with the bases loaded. The lead is 9 here in the top of the 6th. Now, the game can't end in the 6th inning, but if you push the lead out to 10 here in the 6th and hold the Panthers scoreless in the 6th and the 7th, could be ending this one a few innings short. Ben Irvine steps to the plate for the 2nd time in the inning. He reached on a throwing error. Really nice play by Ruthier up the middle to stop it, but then his throw was off the mark, allowing Irvine to reach. He eventually came in to score on Corliss's RBI single. Hughes at third, Comeau at second, Leung at first. Great speed at the corners as that pitch is on the inside half, 0-2. Irvine didn't love it. Irvine has reached in 8 of his last 9 trips to the plate. 7 in a row at one point. 0-2, popped up way foul. 1-2 now to Irvine. Brookwell waiting on deck. The first 3 runs of the inning all charged to Reeves. Oh, 2 catches the inside half. Irvine can't believe it, but Reeves able to get out of the jam with just the 4 runs. The Beacons have scored 4 in the 1st, 4 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th. It is 14-5 UMass Boston after 5.5.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Mike Doherty on for his first full inning of work. He came on in relief of DJ Lopes in the bottom of the fifth with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and got a great defensive play from his catcher. Andrew Salta popped it up behind the plate. Corliss bobbled it twice before grabbing it for the 3rd out and leaving the bases stranded. UMass Boston, 14 runs on 12 hits and 3 errors. Plymouth State with 5 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. It'll be the top of the lineup for the Panthers here in the 6th. Luke Sokolsky is 1 for 2, a pop-up to second, a walk, and an RBI double to left field back in the 4th. First pitch from Doherty. Low and away. 1-0. Offering popped up foul. No chance for Corliss this time around. Remember, Plymouth State right back in action tomorrow. 2 games at Plymouth State. 2 games at Southern Maine, excuse me. Doherty, can't believe that one missed. 2-1. Those games at Southern Maine on Monday, noon and 3. And then after playing 6 games in 3 days, they get Tuesday off before playing 2 more at home against Southern Maine on Wednesday. Popped up to shallow right center. Long run for Irvine, but he can cover ground very quickly. And Sokolowski is retired. We'll bring up Metzdorf, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Metzdorf walked in the first, stole third, but then was tagged out. Struck out looking and flew out to left. After being a real thorn in the Beacon side in game 1, he reached the first 4 times he stepped to the plate. A single, a triple, reached on an error, walked, and finally struck out in his final appearance. Metzdorf hits the first ball out to center. Irvine, with the wind seemingly not playing a factor here, right at him. And 2 quick outs, both by way of the F8. Brings up James Salta. Salta was hit by a pitch in the first and stole second. Walked and scored in the 4th and flew out to right to start the 5th. Slow breaking ball that catches the outside half of the changeup, 0-1. Foul tip into the glove, 0-2. Doherty tries to get a clean frame here in the 6th. Hit the Beacons' bats right back up there, 2-3-4 as the Beacons look to stretch the lead to 10 or more. Earn a mercy rule win in game 1, 19-8. They'd love to do the same here. UMass Boston, in 2 of their past 3 games, have earned mercy rule wins. Defeated WestCon on Wednesday, 14-2 in 7 innings. Lost game 2, 5-4, then came back with a 19-8 8-inning win. High chopper. Blake's going to have to rush the throw. Picks it up, throws. It's a line drive, and they call him safe. And, man, that was real close over at first base. And I don't think there's anything different you can ask Aiden Blake to do. I don't know if we have our replay. It's been giving us some technical issues. We'll take a look at that. That's a bang-bang play at first. And, again, just a high chopper. You have to wait on it. It's not like you can jump up like a basketball player and get that any sooner. But Blake set his feet. He was ready to make the play. And just the speed there of James Salta, able to beat out an infield single. 4th hit of the day for Plymouth State. Brings up Griffin Crane, who was struck out swinging. An RBI single and a run scored in the 4th. A walk and a run scored in the 5th. 2 of the team's 5 runs scored. We'll take a look at that highlight after this next pitch. And it shows that when they talk about the old adage of speed killing in pretty much any sport, the situation where Salta's speed was enough to beat out what should be a pretty easy grounder to third, pretty routine grounder to third. Let's take a look at it right now. This is the grounder from Salta. You see just diving out with the bat. And here's the throw from Blake. It's close. I think Salta does beat it. But I don't think you can ask anything more of Aiden Blake over there at third. 2-1 offering to Crane. Breaking ball catches the corner. 2-2. Already looking to get through a scoreless frame here. He's already gone a full inning. Allowed just the one hit. 2-2 pitch, low as Corliss faked the throw. Doherty and Tyler Ruda are the most experienced pitchers on this Beacons team. Pair of seniors who have played important factors on the Beacons since their freshman year. Aruda, a starting pitcher. Doherty, a reliever throughout his entire career. Runner takes off on the 3-2, bounces up there, and Doherty's allowed an infield single and now a walk. First free pass that Mike has given up, the 8th for Beacons pitching, though. As you see, James Salta out there at second. Good speed here for Plymouth State. I don't think you're going to be trying to run and try to steal third, as we've seen Corliss with a couple of good throws, especially with the left-handed batter. But you never know. This is a very aggressive base-running team at Plymouth State. Wasilewski still looking for his first hit of the day. Has reached twice here in game 2. Fastball on the outside half, 0-1. Wasilewski is struck out swinging, reached on an error by the left fielder, and scored in the 4th, and then was hit by a pitch, but did not score in the 5th. In game 1, he was hit by a pitch and walked and went 0 for 2. So he's 0 for 4, but he has reached 4 times. Long look back at second from Doherty, the 0-1. Breaking ball in there, 0-2. Doherty way ahead here, looking to finish off the Panthers in the bottom of the 6th. Keep this game at 9 runs so the Beacons can potentially finish it in the top of the 7th. Strike 3 on the outside half. Corliss was able to extend his body, frame it well, and Doherty his first strikeout. That is the 8th for Beacons pitching to go along with those 8 walks. It is 14-5 UMass Boston heading to the 7th.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
We've got a familiar face coming in to pitch for Plymouth State. It's Ryan Conklin, who actually pitched in game number 1. He was the 3rd of 6 pitchers. He went 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 5 walks, no strikeouts. With those new numbers, Conklin now sits on the year 1-0. Actually, I'm looking at the wrong guy. 0-0, making his 6th appearance. That's tied for the team lead. 20.65 ERA, a whip of 5.29. So that means he allows 5.3 walks and hits per inning. 5 2/3 innings, 20 hits, 19 runs, 13 earned, 10 walks, 6 strikeouts, 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Opponents hitting .526 against him. And it's a really interesting move by Clay Jenkins, because this is a guy who's clearly struggled. I don't know if he's trying to get Conklin right, or if there's a small part of Jenkins who thinks if we're not going to win this game, let's get home earlier, let's sleep earlier. And we've got another huge doubleheader tomorrow, especially that first game. You're down 9 runs heading to the 7th. It's not impossible to come back. It's certainly not impossible. It's a little unlikely. But tomorrow's game matters just as much, especially that first game, the conference game, number 1 of the 2 tomorrow, counts just as much as this one. And at some point, you have to wonder just about how these guys' bodies are going to react. 2 home games yesterday. It's a little bit easier to sleep in your own bed and just have to kind of, I don't know, take a quick ride or maybe even walk down to the field. But long trip today. Plymouth State was at the field by the time I got here at 9:45. And they're going to have to do the same thing tomorrow at Southern Maine. Plymouth's about a 2-hour drive. They were probably leaving at 7 o'clock on a Sunday. Most college kids don't like doing that, and they're probably going to have to do the same tomorrow. 3-1 to Chris Duco, who's a pinch hitter for Steve Brookwell here. Chops that one. It's hit softly. Metzdorf charges, can't get it out, and they're going to call a dead ball. That one hit the front of his foot, I think. I think that's why we got a dead ball, as Duco doesn't know what's going on. And Duco's still saying, I don't think that hit me. Brendan Igerbrot's going to have a conversation. The plate umpire did not call time. Chris Duco saying that didn't hit me. Plymouth State is going to claim, and they're right, that, hey, we stopped playing. We didn't play that as hard because we heard time by the first base umpire. And so Duco, who would have had an infield single there, because I don't think there's any chance Metzdorf gets the speedy Duco. But instead, the count runs to 3-2 as Duco is pinch hitting here in the 2-hole for Steve Brookwell. Soft rounded Dedham hits this one out to left. Going back on it is Wasilewski, and he'll make the play. So instead of having a leadoff base runner on, take a look and see if this actually did hit Duco. Pinch hitter. And that came nowhere close. So that's a big miscue. Obviously, it looked a little weird coming out the bat, but the base umpire really missed that one. Instead of having a leadoff base runner, the Beacons have 1 out for Curtis Tyrone, who takes a breaking ball outside 1-0. Tyrone has singled twice and walked, and in his only appearance where he was retired, it was a productive out, a 4-3 ground out. Hits this one hard out to right, and Curtis Tyrone's got a 3-hit game, and I wonder if the Beacons will pinch run for their designated hitter here, trying to get that 15th run, but also, why risk Tyrone? You're up by 9 here in the 7th. You don't want him to potentially hurt himself on the base pass, but no move yet from Brendan Igerbrot. He looking over at Brad Fogel, kind of debating whether they should pull Tyrone. Up comes Craig Corliss, who has singled 3 times and reached on an error by the third baseman. Corliss has 3 RBI. He is a double shy of the cycle on the day. Had a 2-run triple and a solo home run in game number 1. First homer as a Beacon. 2-0 here, as Ryan Conklin is the 4th pitcher of game 2. And the 10th pitcher to appear overall, though he's appeared twice. 2-0 skips past the catcher Cook, and Tyrone will move up to second base. Wild pitch there. Brendan Igerbrot is going to make the change now. Coming on to pinch run for Tyrone is Luke Levitt. Luke Levitt, a freshman outfielder out of Manchester by the Sea. It's not just a movie, it's a place. 5'9", 165 out of Manchester Essex Regional High School. Making his 4th appearance, all as a pinch runner. 3 runs scored, and all appearances have come in Beacon's wins in doubleheaders. So, not that I think UMass Boston's too worried about getting the win, but just looking to continue that streak. As it's 3-1 here to Corliss. A single would likely score 11. Runs well. 3-1 pitch. Corliss swings through it. 3-2. Aiden Blake in the on-deck circle. Remember, the Beacons need this run and maybe 1 or 2 more just in case Plymouth scores in the bottom of the 7th to earn the Mercy Rule victory. And I think most people involved would be pretty happy if UMass Boston could close out this win here in the 7th. It has been a long afternoon at Monin Park, part of a long weekend. 3 games at home yesterday here on UMass Boston's Harbor campus. 3-2 is fouled off. And it's not as if we won't be seeing a lot of this baseball team next week. 2 more home games on Saturday, senior day, for the Beacons against Eastern Connecticut State. A 12:30 game 1 start. Likely 3:30 game 2. 3-2 offering to Corliss. Misses. And that is ball 4. Conklin got the first batter because of a missed call on a ball that the base umpire thought hit the foot of Chris Duco and missed. Brings up Aiden Blake, who struck out swinging and popped up to short his first 2 times up, but since then has walked and scored and had an RBI single out to left. Has 5 RBI on the day. Came in tied for the team lead with 8. Take the breaking ball for strike 1. Christian Candelario Romero is warming for the Beacons. Likely would pitch the bottom of the 7th, as Doherty's already gone an inning and a third. Not trying to stretch these guys too far, especially since Beacons have a game on Tuesday against Rhode Island College. UMass Boston at 6-5. Hypothetically could make one of those top 3 spots. Blake fouls it off. Now, I've already talked about my thought process where the 4th or 5th spot might actually be good for UMass Boston because they'd only have to face one of the other top teams. But again, if you're the 3 seed, then you might only be facing Rhode Island College or Southern Maine. So that's not bad either. 1-2, 2 runs on. Levitt, the lead runner. He's the pinch runner. Craig Corliss over there at first base. You could even pinch run for Corliss here, but then you'd need to replace him with Kides or one of the Beacons' other backup catchers. We haven't really seen too many of the backup catchers this year. 2-2 is low. Count runs full. Thomas Kua waits on deck. (3-2) and Blake chases a pitch out of the zone. Strikeout for Conklin, his first, and there are 2 on with 2 outs for a pinch hitter. We are going to see, I believe it's Henry Score. So Henry Score, the junior catcher out of New York, 6'1", 195 out of the New York City Museum School, makes his junior season debut. Score has not seen a lot of appearances during his career. He spent a lot of time as the bullpen catcher. Hits it softly over to Conklin. Will field, grab, throws, and retires Score. So the Beacons put 2 on, but unable to scratch that all-important 15th run across. And we'll head to at least the bottom of the 7th. Probably a lot longer unless Plymouth State can turn this game around in a huge way.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
Couple of changes for UMass Boston to start at the bottom of the 7th. Noah Motter, the senior third baseman, is in defensively at third. Danny Colazzo, the junior outfielder, comes on as a defensive replacement in left field. Chris Duco will stay on in right field. And we're just waiting on Craig Corliss to get the equipment back on behind the plate. You see Noah Motter there. Motter out of Austin, Texas. And hey, Sarah St. Cyr doing a great job up top. Finds Danny Colazzo, the 2 changes. See Ryan Leung. I love this. Let's take a loop around the diamond, Sarah. Let's see where we're going next. You see Devin Slattery. Had a nice little doubleheader, his first career home doubleheader. Hey, there's Ben Irvine. Irvine, one of the few starters who has not come out of the game today. And he's going to have a chat with Chris Duco, the right fielder. Well, camera's catching the netting there, but this has been an entertaining trip around Monin Park from our camera operator, Sarah St. Cyr. And as you see, Duco, who has not started either game, but has come on as a pinch hitter and pinch runner. So Plymouth State, no fear of losing this game in the 7th. Now they've got to try to cut into the deficit. It'll be 6, 7, 8, Philly and Cook and Ruthier for the Panthers, who are trying to avoid falling below 500. They just got back to 500. They won 2 yesterday to move to 8 and 7, but a loss in game 1, 19-8 in 8 innings, and it's now looking more and more likely they're going to fall to 8 and 9. First pitch from Daugherty misses inside. Daugherty, who came on to get the final out of the 5th inning, has gone an inning and a third, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and struck out 1. 1-0 from the man they called Diesel. That one is fouled in and out of the glove for strike 1. The sun is moving. It's going down quickly. It's only 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. 1-1 misses wide. 2-1. Got some heavy cloud cover. What's a pretty nice sunset illuminating the city of Boston to our left. 2-1 pitch coming here to Philly, and that is looped out to left. Long run for Colazzo, who moves well, and he's going to make a running play just shy of the track. Danny Colazzo is one of those guys who doesn't get talked a lot about. I don't know the last time Danny actually got an at-bat, but he's an extremely hard worker. He's always smiling. And he's a guy who doesn't come on typically till the 7th or 8th inning as a defensive replacement. And there's very few plays, if any, I can remember where he wasn't able to make the play. I've seen him make plays where he's literally ended up face first in the mat out there in left field. But if it's possible to catch, he's going to do his darndest. And he has been a really good addition. He and Nico Kides, high school teammates in Stamford, Connecticut. And while Nico plays a lot more than Danny, they're both really good guys, really hard workers, always smiling, and huge fines from Brendan Igerbro. It's quickly 0-2 to Gavin Cook, grad student catcher who was struck out looking, grounded out to first, and walked. Oh, 2 pitch misses up high. I will admit, Danny is certainly a broadcaster favorite, as someone who also works in our sports information department. He's done a little bit of public address announcing and some camera work, but he's a very pleasant human being to be around. 1-2 offering from Daugherty, misses. 2-2. Not that there's a lot of guys on this Beacons baseball team this year or over the years that have been unpleasant to be around. It's a program that has been built extremely well by Brendan Igerbro. 2-2 offering, swung on and missed. Daugherty's got his second strikeout. And there are 2 down with no one on for Joe Ruthier, the senior shortstop, who was grounded back to the pitcher, struck out looking, and had an RBI walk with the bases loaded. No one up for Plymouth, so I think this is going to be Ryan Conklin again in the 8th after he worked a scoreless 7th. Ball hit out to right. Coming in on it is Duco. He's going to let it take a bounce. That one got down a little bit faster than I anticipated. Ruthier's first hit of game 2, and it will bring up Andrew Salta, who has walked, reached on an error, and popped up behind the plate. A great juggling play by Craig Corliss with the bases loaded to start Mike Doherty's appearance. So this will be the 10th guy he's faced. Apparently it is starting to rain here at Monin Park. So I talk about how nice it is, sunset, and all of a sudden we've got some rain. We do have a pinch hitter here for Andrew Salta. And if I remember right, this is Peter Laviolette, who's wearing 17, but he's number 39 in the program. Laviolette was retired in game 1 as a pinch hitter in a big spot. Came on as a pinch hitter, I think with the bases loaded against Brendan Ferrari in the game 10-7 in the 4th, and grounded back to the pitcher. It caught Ferrari, was able to knock it down and then retire him. Check swing from Laviolette, 1-1. That misses low, 2-1. Laviolette, a senior out of Longboat Key, Florida, but he spent his high school years at Proctor Academy for prep school, so must have fallen in love with the New Hampshire scenery. And why not? Plymouth State is in a beautiful part of New Hampshire. One of the things they offer is a lot of opportunities if you're a fan of the outdoors, of skiing, right there near the mountain. 2-2. 2 outs, runner at first base. And the 2-2 offering is fouled back. Yeah, it's definitely gotten a bit cooler here at Monin Park. High temperature of 76. The runner at first is Ruthier. Single out to right. 2-2, 2 out. The Beacons lead it 14-5. Doherty's 2-2 offering. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Laviolette didn't like it. Doherty with his 3rd strikeout of the outing. We head to the 8th at UMass Boston, 14-5.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Devin Slattery steps up to the plate for the 11th time today. Takes a breaking ball just off the corner from Ryan Conklin, who was able to work around a single, a wild pitch, and a walk in the 7th to keep the Beacons scoreless. Just the third scoreless frame for the Beacons here in Game 2. They've scored 4 runs in the first, 5th, and 6th, and 2 more in the second. 1-1, chopped foul. Slattery has grounded out to the second baseman to drive in a run, flown out to center, an RBI single to right, and a fly out to the left fielder in left center. Just the one hit here in Game 2. 1-2 pitch, hit up the middle. Metzdorf, a backhand play, bobbles it, still can't find it. The throw to first is not in time. And that is likely going to be an E4 on Drew Metzdorf. Not an easy play originally, but once you knock it down like that and bobble it 3 times, typically you're going to pick up the error. Did the hard part. First pitch inside to Comeau, as it is an error on Metzdorf. Comeau today has walked and stolen a base, struck out looking, had a 2-run double to left, and was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. So he's got 3 RBI. (14-5) in favor of the Beacons, 14 runs on 13 hits and 3 errors. They now have 33 runs and 31 hits, as this one's hit to the shortstop, Ruthier, thinking 2. We'll go the short way to second, the throw to first, not in time. Go down as a fielder's choice. Slattery erased on the 6-4 putout, and Comeau is aboard at first for Ryan Leung. Leung had 1 hit in Game 1, has walked twice here in Game 2, has a run scored and an RBI, has also lined out to second and popped up foul to the pitcher. Beacons have led by 9 since the top of the 6th inning, but have not been able to add a run as the rain coming down a little bit harder now. Not enough to make the mound slippery, but certainly enough to make things a little bit more difficult on the pitcher. One 1 out, runner at first is Comeau. Leung hits it hard at the second baseman, takes on a hop. That's the smart play. Chance for 2, the throw over, and we're going to have to go to the 9th inning. A 4-6-3 double play. Great play by Metzdorf to wait on it, forcing the runner at first to hold off. And UMass Boston just cannot seem to get that 15th run. We head to the bottom of the 8th. We've got a new pitcher coming out. It's Christian Candelario Romero, the man with the best hair in the LEC.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
The new pitcher for the Beacons is Christian Candelario Romero, the sophomore righty out of Northampton, Massachusetts. Candelario Romero graduated from Northampton in 2016 before attending Patrick Henry Community College, where he was the 2018 NCJCAA Division II Baseball Pitcher of the Week on February 5th, 2018, making his 4th appearance all out of the pen. 0-0, a 5.87 ERA. 7 2/3 inning, which is the most of any pitcher on the Beacons that have only pitched out of the pen. 6 strikeouts, 6 walks, 12 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned. Opponents hitting .353 against him. Part of the issue is when you look at his numbers, 12 hits, well, 6 of those 12 hits have been doubles. Came on against Western Connecticut State on Wednesday and struggled. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 1 strikeout, and 1 walk, but came on for Jackson Snyder, who had kind of lost his command in the 4th inning against WestCon and allowed 2 of the 3 inherited runners to score. He hit a batter and walked another batter with the bases loaded. He comes on with no one on this time around. Bottom of the 8th inning. And he'll face the top of the order. Tucholsky, Metzdorf, and Salta. First pitch fastball catches the inside half. Final line on Doherty. 2 1/3 innings. 2 hits. 3 strikeout. 1 walk. The 0-1 misses wide. Doherty did not allow a run. You can make an argument that Doherty would be the guy in line for the win. Dylan Ryan, the starting pitcher, did not get through 5 innings. DJ Lopes only threw 2/3 an inning and did not pitch all that effectively. Walking 3, striking out 1, and giving up just the 1 earned run as Candelario Romero strikes out Tucholsky for the first out of his outing. That is the 11th strikeout today for Beacon's pitching in Game 2, though they do have 8 walks and 2 hit by pitches, but UMass Boston continuing to strike out batters at a very good rate. In Game 1, UMass Boston was able to strike out 11 in 8 innings, and they've done the same here in Game 2, although they've still got 2 more outs before they're fully through 8 innings. So 22 strikeouts on the day through 15 1/3 innings, and a team that came in striking out 10.6 batters per inning or per 9 innings, pretty good. And the benefit of striking out that many batters is the less times the ball is put in play, the less chance that something's going to happen with your defense, that the wind is going to do something, maybe the umpires make a wrong call. If you're just getting strikeouts, it reduces the chances for the opposing team to do anything. Metzdorf walks, and that's the other issue. If you can strike out a lot while not walking a lot, you can really put the opponent in a tough spot. The second walk for Metzdorf, who is 0 for 3 in this one with 2 walks, brings up James Salta, who's been hit by a pitch, walked, flew out to right, and singled. Hits this one out to left. Nick Palma has come on replacing Ben Irvine. Danny Colazzo is the center fielder now with Palma in left. This is going to be a run-scoring RBI double from James Salta. Metzdorf scores all the way from first. And not that we're focused on the mercy rule anymore, but the lead is 14-6. So an entirely different outfield for the Beacon. Palma in left. Colazzo in center. Duco in right. Motter came on as a defensive replacement at third. The rest of the infield has stayed the same. Leung at short, Slattery at second, Comeau at first, with Corliss behind the plate. First offering is a breaking ball in there for strike 1 to Griffin Crane. Crane has struck out swinging. RBI single in the 4th and has walked in his last 2 at-bats. 1 for 2 with error runs scored. Oh, 1 hit softly down the right side. Candelario Romero is going to give it off to Comeau. He could have taken it himself, but he'll make the play. There's a really weird play in Major League Baseball this week that was called against the Milwaukee Brewers. There was a similar play, although the ball was hit a little bit further down close to the first base line, where the pitcher for the Brewers fielded the ball, tossed it to the first baseman well ahead of the runner, and then came kind of close to the baseline, and the runner had to run around him, and the first base umpire ruled the batter safe because of interference, even though the batter would have been out no matter what the pitcher had done. But that's just baseball for you. You always can see some weird things. Salta moves up to third. Crane is retired. And this ball is hit out to right. And there's a second run in the inning as Andrew Wasilewski finally comes through with his first hit of the day. 5 for 7 yesterday. That completes the cycle for the weekend as Wasilewski now has 6 hits, although not had a good day. Game 1, he went 0 for 3, reached on a walk and a hit by pitch. Here in Game 2, he has struck out swinging twice, reached on an error, now has a hit. So 1 for 4 in Game 2, 0 for 3 in Game 1. So that's 1 for 7. Still not a bad weekend. 6 for 14. Batted for the cycle, 8 RBI yesterday and 9 today. Most guys would take that. 0-1 to Brody Fillion. Breaking ball misses out wide, 1-1. Plymouth State back in action tomorrow at Southern Maine. Game 1 at noon. That's a conference game. Game 2 is a non-conference game as they've split up the 2 conference games, 1 each at Plymouth and 1 at Southern Maine. Another ball hit out to left center. Palma will keep this one from getting to the warning track, but advancing up to third base is Wasilewski. 2 runs in. The lead is 7. And up steps Gavin Cook, who's still looking for his first hit of the doubleheader. Went 1 for 4 in both games yesterday against Western Connecticut. He is 0 for 3 in this one. A strikeout looking, a ground out to the first baseman, strikeout swinging, and a walk. For UMass Boston, they're back in action on Tuesday at Rhode Island College. That one is a 3:30 start. Check swing. Comeau should have a play. He's going to underhand it over to Candelario Romero, and that will do it for the inning. Plymouth gets 2 back. The lead is 7 heading to the 9th as UMass Boston looks to cap off a Little East Conference doubleheader sweep against Plymouth State.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Slight delay as Gavin Cook had to get his catcher's equipment on. It's going to be a different looking Beacons lineup here to start the 9th. Nick Palma, who came on for Ben Irvine in the 1 spot playing left field, will lead off. In the 2 spot, it's Chris Duco, who came on back in the 7th inning as a pinch hitter. And I think we're going to see a pinch hitter in the 3 spot as well. Saw someone other than Luke Levitt, who was the pinch runner for Curtis Tyrone, taking some swings. Palma takes the first pitch he sees from Conklin, and he's got a leadoff single. Nice for Palma, who had been a bit in a bit of a slump recently. I think it was 0 for his last 5. Brings up Duco, who should have had an infield single, but the base umpire thought the ball hit his foot and ended up flying out to left. It looks like Levitt's going to stay on. This would be his first official at bat. Duco hits it out to right. Going back and back and back is Crane, and he's not going to get there. Bounces on the track. Duco was almost catching up to Palma, and it's a double on a ball that I believe was wind-aided. Either Crane seriously misjudged how deep that ball was hit, or that ball was blown out by the wind that's whipping. So while the Beacons don't need another run, or at this point 3 runs, to earn the Mercy Rule victory, certainly not going to complain about some of their backups getting some hits. Levitt, again, does not have an official at-bat. This is his 4th appearance as he swings through the pitch. Has scored in each of his first 3, so maybe he'll get on here and score. Levitt was a Cape Ann League All-Star and a team MVP at Manchester Essex Regional High School. And he hits this one out to center. Might be his first career RBI. Well deep enough to score Palma. Taking off for third is Duco, and it will be a sac fly. So Levitt gets the job done. And I'm being told that was not Luke Levitt. That was actually Kevin Carrera. So my apologies to Kevin and anybody out there who is rooting Kevin on or the Beacons on. That is Kevin's 3rd trip to the bases. Now 1 for 2. That was his first career RBI. Freshman out of Sandwich, Mass, who replaced Levitt. Levitt, who wears 12, not 33. And ball hit hard up the middle. Craig Corliss, he doesn't want this doubleheader to ever end. He picks up yet another hit. That one will score Duco. So the Beacons get the 2 runs back that Plymouth State had just scored. For Corliss, that is his 4th single of Game 2. Got 4 RBI. To go along with a triple and a homer and 2 walks in Game 1. He's got 7 RBI in the doubleheader. Oh, 1 pitch bounces up there to Noah Motter. First at bat for Motter of the day. Noah, senior out of Austin, Texas. Actually, this is his first at bat of the season. Made 2 appearances as a defensive replacement. Had 1 walk and also came on defensively. As a junior, came on 4 times, went 0 for 5. Still looking for his first collegiate hit. This would be a great chance. Takes it low and outside. Count runs to 3-1 with Corliss over there at first base, who just hits and hits and hits some more. 3-1 offering. Motter fouls it back. 3-2. Corliss in this second game, 4 for 5 with 3 runs scored, 4 RBI, a double and 3 singles along with a walk. 3-2 pitch. Motter fouls it off. Senior who attended Vandergrift High School, where he's an all-district second-team member. Scored the game-winning run last season in a walk-off win against Stevens when Ryan Leung beat out an infield single, part of a 3-1 start to the season. Motter pops it up. This one could be playable. Cook, the pitcher, and the third baseman all there, and it's going to be Conklin who makes the play. Two down, 2 runs already in, and Danny Collazo will step to the plate. Collazo, the junior out of Stamford, Connecticut, his 5th appearance of the year, does have a run scored, but no official at bat. As a freshman, he went 1 for 2 as a pinch runner and defensive replacement specialist. And as a sophomore, did not get an at bat. So this is just his 3rd at bat of his career. 4 runs scored. Also stole 2 bases. 1-0 to Collazo, bounces up there. Coming to Collazo, and it catches the outside half. The batter in the on-deck circle is Boston Burris, one of the Beacons' freshmen on this year's roster. Misses outside 3-1. Boston, a freshman out of Highland Village, Texas, would be his collegiate debut. 5'10", 175. 3-1 offering. Collazo swings through it. 3-2. Might have been ball 4. Runner at first is Corliss. 3-2 offering. Bounces up there, and 2 on for Boston Burris, who will be making his collegiate debut here against Ryan Conklin. 5'10", 175 freshman out of Highland Village, Texas, attended Edward S. Marcus High School. Corner infielder, who's a switch hitter. Member of 4 straight district championship teams. And as a senior, his high school was ranked first in all of Texas and 6th nationally. Burris takes the first pitch up high, plus with the name Boston. Spelled B-O-S-T-Y-N, but still. Why not come to Boston and play your collegiate baseball at a field like this? Chance for an RBI in his first collegiate at-bat, and he instead takes a hit by pitch. Caught his front hand, and the Beacons have loaded the bases here for Michael Comeau, one of the lone starters still in the lineup. So Burris will take it. He's aboard, and his first trip to the plate in his first collegiate game. He's laughing over there with the Beacons' first base coach, and Michael Comeau's got the bases loaded. Beacons already leading by 9. Got 2 RBI, actually 3 RBI in the day. Has walked once, been hit by a pitch once. The 2-run double is also struck out looking and hit into a fielder's choice. 1-0, hits it hard out to right. This is going to get down. They are going to send Collazo. 1 run's in, the second run coming home. The throw is up the line. Taking off for second is Comeau. And the Beacons lead it 18-7. They finally get that 10-run lead. Little bit late, but it's still impressive as UMass Boston now is up to 37 runs and 35 hits on the day. Also, Comeau now has 5 RBI out of the 8 spot. Corliss and Collazo scored. Burris is at third. Comeau moved up to second on the throw. And we've got Ryan Leung, who is one of 3 starters left in the lineup. Corliss, Comeau, and Leung, who takes a pitch that looked way off the corner. But it's called strike 1. 1-1 to the Beacons' junior shortstop out of Brookline, Mass. He's walked twice and is 0 for 3, including an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play back in the 8th. Ryan had a double back in game 1 down the left field line. Swings and misses at that pitch, 2-2. For Plymouth State in the bottom of the 9th, it'll be 8-9-1 to work against what's probably going to be Christian Candelario Romero. Pitch the 8th. Leung hits it over to Metzdorf, goes up the ladder and makes a great play. But not before the Beacons get 4 in the top of the 9th. It is 18-7 heading to the bottom of the 9th here in Game 2 of our Little East Conference doubleheader.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, then I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
The new pitcher for UMass Boston is Kelly Killeen Jr. the lone grad student on UMass Boston. He spent his first 2 years at Franklin Pierce University. Stands at 6'4", 190. As a sophomore at Franklin Pierce, pitched in 2 games, 2 innings. As a junior with the Beacons, before being injured, 3 appearances, finished 0-0 at the 10.8 ERA. Did not pitch as a senior, and now he's back for his 5th season of collegiate baseball. Kelly on the season, making his 2nd appearance in his lone appearance against Castleton in game number 2 of a Little East Conference doubleheader sweep. Went 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Was replaced with 2 outs by Ethan Herrera, who came on to get the save. Hopefully he's going to have a much easier time this time around. Colleen to face Ruthier, Salta, and Sokolsky here. Colleen to face Ruthier, Salta, and Sokolsky. Ruthier is 1 for 3 on the day. Single his last time up, grounded out to the pitcher the first time up, struck out looking, and worked a bases loaded walk to drive in a run in the 5th. And he has been replaced. So, got to look up. Left-handed batter hitting in his spot. This is Jackson Curtis, a freshman infielder, 6', 170 out of Jefferson, New Hampshire. Another guy who attended White Mountains Regional High School. Bounces away. I think we saw Curtis in game 1 as the pinch runner. Yeah, we did, for the injured catcher Nick Healy. Scored a run in that first game. First at bat of the afternoon, although at this point we're fully into the evening at 7:30. Takes the pitch on the outside half. 1-2. On the season, Curtis is 1 for 2 with 4 runs scored and an RBI. Had a hit against Keene State on the 10th of April that drove in a run. 1-2 offering, and he hits this one past the diving effort of Comeau, full extension. And Curtis is now 2 for 3. See if Plymouth makes any more changes. This one they made the previous at bat. This is Laviolette again. Listed it in the program as number 39. Peter Laviolette in his last at bat struck out looking to end the 7th against Mike Doherty. Takes a breaking ball that took some wicked spin. Came all the way out of the glove there of Corliss. Laviolette on the day is 0 for 2. Now 3 for 9 in the year with a run scored, 4 RBI, a double, and a triple. Also has stolen a base. Hits it hard out to right. Long run for Tuco, who can absolutely fly, but he's not going to get there. One bounces the wall. Tuco will pick it up. They're going to hold Curtis at third base, and there are 2 on with no outs for the top of the order. Brings up the leadoff hitter, Sokolsky, who will stay in the game. Freshman center fielder who is 1 for 4 in this game. He had an RBI double in the 4th, walked in the 3rd, but has also popped up to second, flown out to center, and struck out swinging. Takes the first pitch, breaking ball for strike 1. Another breaking ball, this one too far inside. Final line on Christian Candelario Romero. Goes the 1 inning. allows 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. Is Colleen with the changeup able to catch the corner. Struck out 1 and walked 1. Beacons pitchers 11 strikeouts versus 9 walks. Colleen just misses the corner, 2-2. Looks like Metzdorf will stay on in the 2-hole. Clay Jenkins only has so many guys. Only has 28 players, whereas the Beacons, I think, have the majority, if not all, of their 42 players available. Both teams with 42 guys on the roster, but Plymouth State only able to travel with 28. 2-2 on the outside half. That's strikeout number 12. First for Colleen. And Sokolsky is retired, as now we'll see Metzdorf. Metzdorf, who made that great jumping catch to end the 9th inning, top of the 9th inning, has walked twice. 0 for 3, a strikeout, looking a fly out to left, a fly out to center, and he takes the first pitch breaking ball for strike 1. James Salta, the third baseman in the on-deck circle. Ball chopped down the third base line, foul. Good play by Motter, just in case, and it's 0-2. We are closing in on 8 hours of this Little East Conference doubleheader. Game number 1 only went 8 innings. We saved ourselves probably 20 to 30 minutes in that first game, the way every inning was taking a while. 0-2 pitch from Colleen, hit hard out to left. This one has a chance to get to the wall. Going back and making the catch on the warning track is Palma. It'll be a sac fly from Metzdorf, but that ball looked like it had a chance to do a lot more damage. So Jackson Curtis tags and scores. Salta has to stay at second. And there are 2 down, a run in. It's 18-8. And it'll be James Salta. Salta has singled, doubled, walked, and been hit by a pitch. The only time the Beacons retired him was a flyout to right in the 5th. 2 for 3. Reached 4 times here in game 2. Despite the fact the Beacons are likely to sweep this doubleheader, and I would say that percentage chance is well over 99% at this point. This Plymouth State offense is difficult. They keep coming at you. There's no obvious soft spots in the lineup. Everybody can run, decent amount of pop. And if not for their pitching struggles today, that bounces away from Corliss, and he'll allow the runner to move up. That's Andrew Salta, James Salta's twin brother. This is a team that if they do sneak into the LAC tournament and get better pitching, I mean, that's going to be a big question. Even if Plymouth State gets into the tournament, what kind of shape will their arms be in after playing all of these games? That's a question for a couple teams heading into the LAC tournament. The Beacons, only the 5 games this week. I say only because look at Plymouth. They've got 13 games in 10 days. Keene is another team with a lot of games left. That misses out wide. What kind of shape are these guys going to be in terms of how much do they have left in the tank? For the Beacons, the question is, are these guys sharp enough? They've only had, a lot of their best pitchers have only pitched 3 or 4 times. Some of them have been out for a couple of weeks. Are they going to be sharp enough to pitch well against the top teams in the conference tournament to potentially make it to that championship series? UMass Boston, it might not seem like it because they have had their struggles here in 2021, and it's been a while, but Beacons are the 3-time defending champs in the LAC tournament. No team has ever won 3 in a row. 3-2 offering, 2-shot over to the second baseman Sullivan. He'll pick up, throw, and retires James Salta to end today's Little East Conference doubleheader. You see that beautiful sunset? What a better way to finish this Little East Conference doubleheader. Before we close, I just want to give a shout out to our production crew. All of these ladies who have worked, and it's been an all-female crew, working both ends of today's doubleheader. For my director / instant replay operator, Allie Crawford. For my graphics operator, Gina Albano. For all of our camera operators, including Sarah St. Surin above me, Bree, Addie, Bella, Sage, and Carson, thank you so much for your hard work. The Beacons win Game 1, 19-8. They take Game 2, 18-8. The Beacons improve to 6-5 on the year. Plymouth State falls to 8-9. UMass Boston 6-5 in conference play. Plymouth State now at